Cool. Alright, we are live. Holy crap, it's been a minute. We're back. Another session.
Yes.
Long.
So
Very long.
let's get recap underway, shall we? I actually vaguely remember most of what we did myself.
And
But...
me!
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
But in any case, yeah. I know you guys were planning out
A heist
the heist
of the
And-
century.
Well,
literally.
yeah, more.
Yeah,
or
well,
less.
yes, because nobody ever got yanked out of there. So yeah, I guess it would be the heist of the century.
No,
Yeah.
there has been no successful heist on record.
Right. So we just gotta hijack the orbital space cannon and.
Just blow up the fucking prison, easy.
Mm-hmm. Weren't we supposed to
That's
rescue
like-
someone there? Thinking.
That's like blowing up an ATM machine and trying to get the money out of it.
Yeah, man.
Same energy.
At least you can get some money out of that. We're not gonna get who we want after that.
Look, as long
Well,
as
mean,
you've
it
got at
could
least
be
3/4
possible they
of the
survive.
paper, you'll get it. You know, as long as you've got 3/4 of rolling, you'll be fine. I'm sure the logic works the same.
The living.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
But yeah, in any case,
We basically just kind of went over all of our options last session.
Yep, and you had a number of options and resources to draw upon, of which I am failing to recall. There was one in, which was Timur mentioning he has a contact that could assist you with
Yeah, and I
crossing
think
the
that's-
waters.
I think
Yeah,
that's where
there's
we're gonna go next. I think.
There's
Given
also
whatever-
the
We considered it. There's still a lot to consider.
man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of avenues you guys can explore. So you
So
have that.
definitely.
You have Timur's contact. You did. I know you guys were thinking there is one guy you know who has an airship.
Yeah.
Correct.
Correct.
Good old Gilbud.
Yeah, that's also an avenue. Well, we couldn't combine these avenues because I mean, even if we get the lady's help, it's like, okay, how are we gonna get there?
While you guys didn't, I'm recalling now. While you guys didn't consider it too grand of an option, the Knights of the Blue Rose. I mean, they're the fleet knights. They're the guys that specialize in all the Bastion naval things. So
Oh,
they
yeah,
are also an option if you want to contend with them.
No.
They're an option.
They are
They're
an
an option, but also no.
Don't be
Um,
too hasty. We have to consider all our options,
Yeah.
as
Um,
unsavory or savory they may be.
So those are
It's like-
3 options in terms of getting there that you guys kind of assessed. Obviously, there's more things you guys can consider if you look around or investigate further into it, but those are the 3. I remember.
Isn't the contact lady mostly for when you get there because she knows the underground ways, not so much how to get there?
Who, Timur's contact?
Yeah. She
No.
was. It was more. She was more. I thought she was more for like. Oh yeah, I know the. She knows what the prison is like. Not
no,
so much.
that was Kyron when Kyron and Mordern went on their little buddy adventure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Those were the guys
okay.
that those were the guys in the guts. And they
Yeah.
happen to have all that information because they were the last people to pull the heist, and it didn't go so well. So they kind of gave some details of what the prison is like, which is why you know some of the things.
Right,
but you
right.
don't know everything.
Damn, my lack of omniscience.
Sure. But yeah. Where's my D&D tab?
Yeah.
On reduced.
I mean, I
items.
guess another option is I think we only have the second and third floor, and there's like how many floors? 5, 6,
I
Uh-huh.
believe there was 4.
4.
There's a number of floors, but we don't know all of them.
Yeah,
There is
second-
at least 4 floors.
I think we got second and third, so we don't know the first floor and we don't know the top floor.
Yep.
I think.
Those two were the ones you do know. because
So Nafra would be trying to research, trying to find the other 2 floors.
Yep. Yeah. So you do know the workings of parts of the second and third floor. You do know that there's an access window in the second floor that's big enough for you guys to sneak in. You also do know parts of the strength of the garrison, which is the Automata army.
Yep.
And the fact that it's run by the Tetsu Slayer force, specifically the Ghost variant.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
And that's where my suggestion came in to find some on the mainland, you know, and square up with them and take their suits basically for use in this operation. Because I mean, my reasoning is, you know, one, we get stealth suits, which might help out, and two is if we can't score up and they just beat us up, that might be quite a damper in our plan to go to the jail, you know, there.
at least you're not losing on the jail island where you can't escape.
There's no escape.
Yeah.
Because even if they're really good at chasing us, there is still a chance to lose them in the city. There
Even
is a
if they
chance to
catch
get
you,
it. There is a
Yasha can
chance.
still run away.
We could all still run away. That's kind of my thinking.
Mhm.
That is very sketchy, though.
It is sketchy, but you know, it's like we can run away versus if we run into them the island, we get into a fight, find out that they're way over our heads, and then it's just like, well, that's that then.
Yeah, Timur, I believe, also gave warning regarding these guys, which they're very much unlike your typical Tetsu guard, in which they fight rather inhumanly, or I guess inhuman fighting is more of how he kind of described it. They're very, very, very dangerous because it's not like fighting a regular Tetsu guard. There's something behind them that Timur didn't really
Something strange.
he wasn't able to specify, I guess.
Yeah, something strange.
What else? So you have some knowledge regarding that. You assessed some of the strengths of the guard. Oh, the automata. So one of the big glaring weaknesses of the automata that you guys kind of know is that they, unlike, you know, living guard or soldiers, they're not really like aware of other soldiers. They don't really like coordinate. So like
They're dumb.
Yeah, they're dumb.
Yeah, they're droids.
They're droids. Yeah,
They go Roger Roger.
So they have to be attended to by a living attendant, essentially.
A drone controller.
Yeah, basically. They have to be controlled by someone who's more or less kind of chaperoning them. That being said, most of the garrison consists of these guys and are just basically being babysat by a bunch of these ghost guys.
Yeah. Which, I mean, either way doesn't sound fun.
Yep. You also do know that some interesting things regarding the Black Rock fortress. One of them is that the design of it has it where it's basically it's Vanguard reinforced. Its front ends pointing away from Brosnov. So the north and west sides of the structures are much stronger compared to the east and south parts of the structure. So something to kind of consider. The fortress is super, super old, and it has seen its share of combat. That's why it was put up there. Though you weren't able to really get any specifics on like what sort of battles or what sort of adversaries. Presumably it was Vitten because, well, it's pointed more in the direction of Fjordheim.
Oh, we'll just go to Fjordheim and reenact the good old days.
Yeah, we'll see how that worked out.
Well, they didn't have well, we gotta go back in time, alter history.
It's also fairly vulnerable from the sky. By
That's
by
horrible.
by the
And
means
guild
of, you know,
hence the airship suggestion.
yeah, because fortress naval guns aren't really like trained to
They
shoot
can't.
up when they're meant to shoot at ships.
It's just like, can you even pitch it that high?
Like, I mean, not
You
really.
could pitch it really high and then you fire it, but it's meant for ocean, so then the cannonball's still gonna arc like crazy.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be able to really shoot at you unless you like sees you really far away and you're flying kind of low. But you
Yeah,
know,
Even that's really.
that's still a tough shot. I mean, I guess once you get close, the guys, if they see your ship, they can start shooting at you when you get overhead.
With small arms, but then the
Yeah.
question is, can small arms even penetrate a decently reinforced, bottom hull, basically?
Yeah, that's the real question. I mean, to be fair, you don't actually know because they are Tetsuguard. They do have armament, but I don't know if you guys don't know if Tetsuguard firearms has really been used to fire at Gilbud's ship. Assuming
Or
this hypothetical has his ship in question.
Yeah, or if it's any ship really, just if you have like plated bottoms,
Yeah.
just like because I think anyone can just look at any projectile weapon and go, if we just stick a metal plate here, it'd be kind of hard to hit it.
But yeah. What are some other bits of information that we went over last session? I'm totally blanking.
It's mostly it, I think.
Yeah.
That was pretty much all we found out. And there was more options to look for more stuff.
Yep.
But
More options to consider. There's plenty of other things. I mean, you didn't get all the full history of everything about the place, for sure. You just know that it's an old fucking place.
And it's
I mean, given the fact that it's got the ghost variants hanging out there, the Chain Islands is attached to there, and there's no real confirmation, but it's suspected that what the island prison serves as is sort of a training place, or sort of like a induction place. Like once you finish training, you go to the prison to start your job as an operative, basically. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So there's a chance of operatives.
But yeah, you don't really know anything past that, but yeah, that's more research required to learn more. Or you can always just roll in there and go in guns blazing, see what it'll take.
Well,
I mean,
okay, so
we've done that before and it's worked out, but
so we give Yasha the Boots of Haste, a haste spell, and he just have him run at the fortress with a bunch of bombs.
Yep.
sounds about right. I don't have haste yet though.
But anyway, yeah. The options are laid out before us.
Mm-hmm. The the person in question that Timur mentioned is in Seaport. You can also look up other sources. I mean, these are kind of givens. Considering that the fortress is super friggin' old, actually, I think Timur also mentioned this, but considering that the fortress is super frickin' old, the Iron Drake, I'll talk about that, but considering the fortress is super ancient, you could probably look up some history records at the repository for Brosnov, or any libraries that might have any records regarding it, to learn more.
Right.
Which is what Timur suggested. It's like, yeah, this thing's kind of a bit of Brosnov history, and by it's pretty significant.
That kind of sounds like a job for Mortarin libraries and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Your other sources are, of course, well, this one kind of also I'm gonna give you guys, but other seafaring folk. I mean, it is an island. It's also, while it sits outside the trading lane, it doesn't sit that far outside the trading lane,
Yeah, people might catch glimpses of it on their trails.
Yeah. It used to be, the lane used to go straight through it at one point, so.
Maybe you'll find some older, saltier sailors to spill out some deets.
Yep. Lastly, the Iron Drake. The
That's that
conditions
big-ass
of,
ship, right?
it's a big ship. Well, relatively speaking, it's a big ship.
It's a big ship.
It was
It's
a
the best way
big
to put it.
ship. Most Brosnov cargo ships are comparative. I mean, they're kind of born from the design of the Iron Drake, but the Iron Drake was the first one.
I mean, it's kind of like comparing what is it, those super cargo ships to old World War II dreadnoughts.
Yeah, that's
It's like they were big, but compared to these super freighters, it's not really a fair comparison.
like you look at the Bismarck, you're like, wow, 800-foot long ship, and then you're just like, wait, most cruise ships are bigger than this.
Yeah, and then you look at the fucking super freighters, and you're like, wow, this is like the size of a small country.
Like, damn, dude.
So it's a little unfair.
It's an unfair comparison, but that being said, the Iron Drake still has a rather fearsome reputation to it. It is docked at the islands, and it's sitting there, and it's been there for a good long while, about a century or so. And its big thing is that it runs on a skeleton crew.
It's mechanically,
Yep. It's a semi-automated ship.
which
It
again is
requires
I feel like that would be our bargaining chip to getting Gilbert to help us, because
Yeah.
I know, as genius as he is, I bet even he would be pretty like, about a AI chip
Yeah.
using precursor tech.
Well, it's not a full AI sort of thing. It's like
Ah,
it's still human
It's
assisted.
still, I was gonna say, it still cuts above what most engineers can do, since it was made back in the
Man,
with a lot of funding.
it's like, consider the fact that it's a ship that requires like at most maybe a dozen people that are actually there. Everything else kind of runs itself. The ship has its own self-loading weaponry basically.
Like
And,
I said, Gilbert, I'm sure would love to hear that or have that.
Yeah, so all the crew really has to do is just maintain and adjust the ship. Or, supposedly.
So allegedly.
Allegedly. That was one of the things. The other thing is that, like I said, for its time, it was a big, scary fucking ship with a lot of nasty guns. And
Right.
It doesn't matter what century you're from, lots of nasty guns is still lots of nasty guns.
True. Getting hit by a cannonball in modern times would still kind of suck.
Yeah, it's just like, oh man, a grape shot, haha. Like, well, bro, that's, just because we have we live in a world with automatic rifles and,
Wife.
city busting explosives doesn't mean that getting hit with a 4-pounder doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Very true.
I prefer a quarter pounder, honestly, with cheese.
Mood.
Extra cheese. Some banana peppers.
Anyways, I think that about does it for recap. I'm gonna cut you guys loose and let you decide where we going with this. While I go and I find
I mean,
some slightly better music.
I would say just put Mortar in a library and he's fine, but remember what happened last time we did that?
I mean, it sounds like we're gonna be doing that anyway.
He seems fine to me.
Because I think information. We should get some information before we continue. I am still of the opinion that the Order of the Blue Rose might be our best bet, because we might be able to get them to just bail our compadres out.
And then
Like,
we can go.
literally just pay bail, and then we can just don't even worry about attacking Fantasy Alcatraz over here.
Yeah, but do you remember how much it costs to bail anyone out of there?
We're not gonna be looking at destitution, I'm sure.
Walter's the
Because
only
we're not-
person that's been on record to have been quote unquote bailed, and it cost a
Yeah, and Matthew also made himself destitute doing so.
Yep.
But he did shoot a fucking Tetsu guard captain in the face, though. That's not exactly a light charge. You don't get light charges by shooting the police chief in the face.
We don't know what their what their bail is at.
I mean, at least we know
We also
it's
don't
going
wanna
to
go-
be
we
less
don't
than
wanna
6
go
million
down.
gold.
It'll be 4 million.
At least it'll be less than 6 million gold. But that's the only silver lining Mordorin has at this moment.
We can
This
check.
means-
I don't have high hopes about this.
I don't know.
Like I said, we could check. There's no harm in asking and checking. It's just I do not personally have high hopes about it being reasonable. The Tetsu Guard have proven time and time again that they are not reasonable.
This is true.
Yeah.
But we can find out. There's no harm in that.
You guys
So
wanna
what's
look
first
into,
order of business?
Source for that.
The only thing I don't like about Bastion knowing about that we're inquiring about getting people out of there is if they tell us no.
And what if they turn on us, right? And they're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah,
these guys are fucking asking about this dude in prison. It's like, oh,
That's the one downfall. I mean, we could just be like, okay, we will full on cooperate about the thing that shot your basically try to murder your king.
I think first and foremost, then we should find out what their relationship is to the Tetsu Guard. If they don't like the Tetsu Guard, they're not gonna. We don't have to worry about them telling them.
I mean, we kind of know-ish because I forgot what his fucking name is, but the guy that kind of is in charge of the Bastion Order here is on at least good terms with the High Marshal.
Oh, he says good terms. You can be on good terms with somebody and not like somebody.
I was under
You
the
know-
impression they didn't like personally get along with the Tetsu. This is more like,
It's a cordial agreement between two factions.
yeah.
You can have cordial agreements about things and just still hate each other's guts. Happens all the time.
I guess that's fair.
They were. I'm pretty sure they were pretty clear that they could help us lose heat.
Yeah.
They were.
Like,
But that was mostly at our friend's behest, remember? So it's not like they were doing it despite the Tetsu Guard.
Yeah. So I guess is it worth it? Because we would have to definitely basically help them out with who killed or who almost killed their king.
Oh, we wouldn't.
There'll
we
be
would
no
know-
way around that.
Well, we don't know until we try.
I know what the price is. They want to know details about that. I know.
Wouldn't it be funny if they wanted us to break someone else out at the same time too? They're like, by the way. But anyway, for now, what
See,
do
we kind of came to you so we could avoid that whole situation, but sure.
So yeah, I guess if you think the risk outweighed the rewards for Bastion,
I still think we should gather more information for now.
I agree.
We can worry about our chips when we actually found all of them.
okay. What's the first order of command?
Well, we have the library. We also have people we can talk to.
Got
We
them
can-
peoples.
We can split up and we can split up here, assuming you think we'll be fine splitting up.
Mm,
The only thing is we'll have to be 2 and 1.
yeah, I'd rather not split up.
Or a
Let's keep it
3-man split.
Yasha does want to go pick up his rifle, so he might split for a little bit.
I mean, we're just gonna be hanging at the library, so you can go do that.
Yeah, Yasha in books. It's not that he's illiterate. He just doesn't really read. So
Yeah.
I think library, and then we go talk to Eris to see what she has to say.
sounds good.
Yep.
And then we can speak to the sailors too, see if they have any old salty stories about that fort.
What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken
We'll
sailor?
have
What-
something.
We mash them like Gucci.
Oh. I don't have her on bed. I was going to. Oh wait, there she is. Hold on.
That's what you do to drunken sailors. You grip them and you mash them.
Wish.
But yes,
Yes. Okay, to the library, then Yasha splits off to get his rifle.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Put this picture sensor.
Oh, I completely forgot until now.
Hmm?
I'm assuming, boss, you don't want the item made yet.
No.
'Kay.
We'll sort something out when you guys get prepping.
Me.
Because we're just kind of picking up where we left off.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to do Josh's thing first or the library?
I mean,
I think it's gonna be library, and then
yeah, library
Yasha's
first.
going to split off from there.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys
He'll
head
be
to
quick
the.
about it.
Did you guys head to the library in the toolbox or?
Where is the library?
There's actually
Yeah.
several repositories.
If you
scattered
recall,
throughout
there's a
Boston.
library near the docks district.
Hmm.
That's the one that you initially went to, and that's closest to where the sailors are for their stories. It is also close to near where Yasha's rifle is, so I think that would be the most prudent library to go to.
So Seaside seems like a relevant stopping place for all of y'all, basically.
Many things. So,
In various parts.
which is funny because the last time I went to go get the rifle commission, this was also part of the trip, the library and everything.
Yeah,
It's just
it
retreading
was.
the same exact. It's just retreading the exact same steps, really.
Yep. I forget what the library stop was for, but I do remember looking up stuff regarding Vitten traveling to Fjordheim.
I do remember that. Mordrin definitely remembers that.
Yeah, Mordrin remembers. Mordrin remembers.
Certainly nothing watching Mordrin right over his shoulder.
Always feels like someone's watching me.
Alright, as Yasha sets off to retrieve his rifle, I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the library on this one.
All right.
So,
Library.
You
Library.
make your way to the library.
Yeah.
Go
No, I was
ahead
gonna-
and make some investigation checks at advantage.
Oh.
I don't know why my brain thought you were gonna say make some con checks at disadvantage. It's like, oh,
Con
what the fuck?
checks at disadvantage.
Like, what kind of books are these?
17
Someone doesn't work
for
out at the
me.
library.
Oh, he looks at you with the G Fuel crazed look in his eyes.
Oh god, G Fuel.
That's totally what that one dude is selling, by the way, at that gym.
G Fuel. Oh
yeah.
right, the one that used to be owned by that samurai.
That's
Luffy's
it's
just fucking
it's-
bored.
it's
Lamine
G
got
Fuel.
distracted by books.
Yep.
She got that ADHD brain.
She's like,
Oh.
books. Lost interest.
No, like she's in the books, just the wrong book. She got distracted.
Oh, I see.
Ugh, that's a mood though.
Yeah.
She
Time
found
to
a
read
book
this
about-
thing. 2 sentences is I'm good.
It's about the it's about the a princess's love affair with a commoner.
She found the adventure romance books.
Oh,
Oh
man.
god.
Now,
Sciaphys would be like, "Hey yo, let me know what they got."
Like I said, it's a book, and it's about how a princess fell in love with a commoner.
Yep.
But yeah,
And his-
17 for me, boss.
But of course, her
Excellent.
father is like, I don't accept this, and he has to go on an adventure to prove himself worthy of, marrying royalty, because the father is not he's not a monster, but he's unreasonable. So he's like, if you need to go slay this noodle dragon over yonder.
Yep.
Ah.
But then he falls in love with the. But then the noodle dragon is actually another princess, and it gets messy.
it becomes a complicated love triangle.
oh boy.
Because
So it's a good book.
He ends up with the dragon princess lady, but then is like, yo, but also I'm still interested in that first lady. Yo, can I get some proof of like you quote unquote died? I'm not gonna bug you or anything. I'll totally BRB. And then he comes back and he's
somehow
like,
it becomes
here's like a scale that I told from the dragon. I totally killed your highness. Can I marry your
And-
daughter?
And then after that, the big twist is then they get into a very healthy polyamorous relationship.
Molly.
Yes.
That is what I'm reading. Well, Morden is actually being useful.
Yeah. It's a very adventurous book for its time, but it's highly rated.
Yep. Critically acclaimed.
It's like that fucking thing that I was reading.
I
That
think
you
it's-
suggested that was for the DGen campaign.
I think it's one of those books where I wouldn't say it's critically acclaimed, but it's like everyone hails it highly, but the book staffing are they're cowards and they won't give it the accolades it deserves.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's a 9 out of 10 by Dwarven Studies, a 10 out of 10 by the Brosnov academics and what do you call it? Academics and interests writing, and a 6 out of 10 by the Vinton Story Group. That I like dragons. But
Yeah,
that's
they don't
but
like
it's still
dragons.
considered one of their highest ratings.
But I mean, it's
harsh
6 out of 10.
judges.
There's 6 out of 10 for a book about dragons in it, so that's really good for them.
It's a 6 out of 10. It's a book about dragons, but the thing that scored heavily against them is that it's not about killing dragons. However, that being said, it is also it is like the Simon Cowell of rating places or rating stories. So getting a 6 out of 10 is like a 10 out of 10.
Checks out. That sounds like Vinton.
The math.
Was it
checks
a?
out.
It's a New York
Alright.
bestseller. It's a Brosnov bestseller.
Yep, Brosnov bestseller.
What book
Yep.
do I find, boss?
Yeah.
You actually
What-
find a military history book. It's on
Ooh.
Brosnov's campaigns. It's kind of a how would I put it? It's it's a book on historical recordings. It kind of summarizes the many battles Brosnov and conflicts and wars that Brosnov has been involved in. And it organizes them in a chronological order.
Oh,
Useful, actually.
very useful.
It's fairly it's not a very deep read in terms of like each conflict, because there's a
It goes
lot.
over all of them.
It goes
but-
over basically all of them, yeah. But
Yeah.
it talks about them kind of in brief detail and gives
Mhm.
some interesting tidbits and things in summary.
Is it narrated by an old dude with a gravelly voice?
This isn't an audiobook, okay?
Back in the Brosnov War, there was a lot of issues with the Vinton up north. It just continues on like that.
Yep.
That sounds like Mordrin's Jam, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually a pretty well detailed book. That kind of goes over, like I said, literally every war that Brosnov has ever been in, before, during, and after its unification.
Anything that catches my eye?
Roll me
Initiative.
an intelligence check. Because there's no real.
Oh, wait,
Is
no.
there a history check? There's a history
There
check.
is history.
Well,
There is
roll me-
indeed a history check.
Roll me history.
There is indeed a history. Same thing, but you know.
And it's with advantage.
Oh, okay. I'll do 2D 24. An 18.
18. Awesome.
Good thing you said advantage.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Thank fuck.
Jesus. So you are able to pinpoint the naval battles, and this fortress actually has quite a few major naval battles, and is in quite a few campaigns. You actually have to note that it's like there's details that where it comes up in other campaigns. As it turns out, gee boy, the fucking Vinton really liked coming over to fight the Brosnov.
Yep.
A lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of details regarding the conflict over Blackrock Island itself before the fortress. The island itself was actually established initially as it was actually a tiny port, like an outpost port, before it was turned into a fortress. And the move for that happened initially because Vitten raiding parties were frequently attacking the island and intercepting merchant ships and intercepting pretty much anything that like sat on the water that wasn't another Vitten ship.
What
And
the rude fuckers.
so the initial development of the fortress was actually a small island base, and they actually parked like a small fleet there, and that's kind of the origins of it. So it didn't initially start out as a huge frickin' fortress. It was actually like this small like battle station basically that had a bunch of ships that just kind of patrolled around that area. Eventually that got turned into a trading lane, and then as it developed into a trading lane, the island then got converted into the first iteration of its fortress, which it doubled in size. And it had stonework, and this was when they introduced some of the cannons, which were very, very like rudimentary and very archaic, and still ran on like mostly like it was very, very old tech basically. And then the next bits of its history were actually fighting off pirates and a lot of pirate attacks. And
Whoa, pirates.
This was during a specific time in which the pirates had managed to cobble together a huge assault fleet. And rather than doing
Pirates.
Yeah.
Pirates did this.
Yeah, rather than being like pirates where they show up, attack, lone ships, they were like a naval faction that was just going out and bullying everyone. And for during that time, it actually saw a lot of combat fighting pirates. At that time, it was co-garrisoned by the Bastion itself. The early parts of the Bastion actually helped contribute to the construction and the creation of the fortress. So a lot of the stonework actually has strong Bastion influence, and a lot of the tech that was used is a lot of Bastion learned tech with Brosnov learned tech. And at that time, that was when they introduced the Iron Drake. So it was like towards the end of the war, or at least towards the end of this era of conflict, the Iron Drake was a thing. And the Iron Drake basically was like one of the major factors that ended up destroying this massive pirate army or navy. They said that what ended up happening was the pirates admiral was more or less like goaded into fighting the Brosnov's fleet at that time around the island. Essentially, they had captured a key figure, an important key figure from the pirates, and they brought them in and basically imprisoned them on the island. And the Castellan at the time basically kind of issued a "come and get 'em" kind of to the pirates.
Like try.
Come and get 'em. And yeah, so the pirates were it. I mean, it worked. The pirates came after them, and then the Iron Drake and the fortress came down on them and basically obliterated the fleet so hard that the pirates to this day have never been able to form a significant navy again. So yeah, it actually was a significant battle for that.
Cool.
After that, you have a series of assaults by the Order of the Bastion.
By the Order of the Bastion.
Yep, the Bastionites at this point actually do make a footnote because even the Bastion Order had to pick a fight with Brosnov.
Interesting.
And Yep. They they only had one battle, and it was a very well. eh, I, yeah, there's like a number of conflicts and skirmishes, but there was only ever one major battle, and by this time, the fortress had had been refurbished once more. So for a third time, it got changed up after its initial creation from its first stage, after being turned from a like a docking station into a fortress. So its third conversion, it turned into just a large. It became more of what it resembles now. After this, and the Order of the Bastion, supposedly, or the Bastion Order, basically, they put up the best fight against the fortress, but they couldn't break it.
That makes sense, given that they
worked
know about
it.
it.
Yeah, they kind of helped work on it.
So they would know best how to hit it.
So, yeah, the Bastion Order, they did a really, really like solid level of fighting, but they weren't able to break it. It details that at this point the Iron Drake was actually crippled in the fighting, and was forced to basically stay on dock for an indeterminate amount of time. So to this day, it doesn't really state whether they've fixed it up since then. This is about, let's see, this is about 200 years ago.
Oh.
Far ago in comparison to the other events.
Yeah. And the Iron Drake once again kind of put up a fight, but it was actually outclassed. But the fact that it was there kind of posed a huge threat. But in the initial fighting, the Iron Drake was badly damaged and forced to dock into the island. However, while it was docked, it was able to continue on fighting from the fortress dock.
Makes sense.
They just kept firing. The guns were reportedly able to reach really far into the Bastion fleet and actually seriously damage their capital ship. So those guns were still deadly, despite the fact that the thing couldn't fight. Or well, it could fight, but
it's got range.
Yep.
That being said, after that was just a few small skirmishes from the Bastion Order, and small raiding parties between here and there, and that was kind of the last stretch of the conflicts that were recorded. At least that specified the Bastion itself, or the fortress, the Black Rock itself. It does record that over time there were some conflicts, like the Vitten raid forces that kind of tried to invade the northern parts of the northern areas around Brosnov. And it said that after many attempts by the Vitten to try and take out the island, they gave up, and it played as a major factor in deterring raiders because, well, they'd have to go around the island to not get blasted. That being said, that one major battle by the Bastion Order that lost, while they weren't able to break it, they do say that there was some permanent damage done to the fortress that was never quite fully, they weren't able to fully repair it. However, engineers of the time were able to cleverly at least conceal it and kind of patch it up so any future would-be invaders would not be able to attack it again from that side.
Or at least, I was gonna say, or at the very least, just not be able to just look at it and go, "Hey."
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yep. There is also one other interesting note to take away from this, is that Valvadiri is The only contender who has fought Brosnov. They also have many battles with Brosnov. They're the only contender that never took on the island fortress.
You know what? That's probably for the best.
But it also
Wow.
makes sense when you think about it. They kind of don't need to.
They don't need to.
Yeah, they
Well-
attack from the other side where the fortress isn't. And
You know-
also, a man.
Yeah, they just push north from the land. But they can, they can also push north from the ocean along the coast.
You know, that tells me that the fortress may not have a lot of experience getting hit by magic.
It's true.
Like
thought about
the most magical contenders they had were the Order, and they don't strike me as a overly magical bunch.
Oh, the Bastion?
Yeah, they don't strike me as mages. If you stiff my drift, I can't imagine Bastion. They might have mage cadres, but I don't feel like that's their specialty. If you know what I mean. It's not like exactly attacking someone else who might have dedicated battle mage teams versus someone who's just like, yeah, we have some mages.
Yeah, the Bastion does have its share of mages and wizards and spellcasters of all like. In fact, they have an entire order dedicated into magecraft.
Oh, do
but
they? Okay,
Yeah, that's the Red Lady.
I see.
They're a bunch of crazy
Huh?
pyromaniacs to say the least, but at the same time, they do know what they're doing.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that's not the order that attacked the thing then, because
Blue Rose are the fleet specialists.
yeah,
They're the ones
so-
that primarily. But when the Bastion goes to war, they're all coming at you. So it might be Blue Rose ships, but everyone's pitching in.
Oh, it's still worth looking into because it seems like the Order did at once have
Yeah.
beef with them.
Yep. I mean, they worked on it too. They worked on the fortress and
Yeah.
even commandeered it for a small while.
They worked on it and they have
Unfortunately,
beef.
more than it than your typical mage, so it's just like, I mean, I can't make a mind of an automaton go bye bye.
I mean,
Nope.
even less, you probably don't have the magical capacity to blow up a fortress.
mean,
Not-
if I was an
Yeah.
evocation wizard, maybe like a full-on evocation wizard,
But this is not the case.
that this is not the case.
So it's an entire fortress.
It is still an entire fortress, but an evocation wizard I would think at this point managed to put the hurt on it a little bit.
I probably could, cause what does wizards have at level 4 or level 4 spell slots? Or
What do they? I thought they get.
well, at my level right now, I would have access to level 4
Fireball?
spells.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, fireball is 3,
Fireball would
so
be
Yeah. You have a step above fireball.
I have a step above fireball. Yeah.
You have
Uh,
something that's
not-
actually really good for
I'm not
structures.
I'm not gonna hedge my bets on throwing fireballs at a fortress wall.
I think
Yeah.
you can. I think you can overdrive your shatters on it though.
Oh, true. Shatter would be a good one, which I don't have.
Well, you would take, what I would do is you take shatter and you would crank it up.
Still one person though.
It is. It's true. So that's why you get 30 mages with shatter.
What the fuck is gravity
be something.
sinkhole? Hold up.
That's a whole lot of diddly.
Well, that's something a lot nastier.
We don't have 30 mages though.
Not yet.
Man, I mean, you're gonna
Start
it's
hanging out
gonna
like
take a
a-
lot more than just one mage to blow up the fortress too.
Yeah.
We need mages to blow up a fortress. You get free meat buns.
You just pay off all
Meat
the meat bun vendors in Brosnov and give them to the mages and be like, here's your college tuition fees worth of food. Go
They're like-
blow up
By the
this
way-
fucking.
And as they stare hungry at the bun, like,
Yeah.
my god, I've been eating ramen noodles for the past 3 years.
It's just
my
like,
God.
brother, if you want to eat well, there's a rickety old fort sitting across the water. Go blow it up.
You'll get 2 meat buns, and they're like, say no more, fam.
Eh?
Say no more. Consider that pebble
Yeah.
chucked into the waters.
So how-
Unfortunately, yeah. I only have access to level 2 spells.
Morden isn't really equipped
Yeah.
as a siege wizard.
Nope.
Sad to
Not
say.
at
God,
all.
can you imagine that making the headlines? Local fortress blown up by hungry college students.
Local historical fortress
Yes,
blown up.
Oh,
and then
man.
like interviewing one of the mages, he's just like, I was just really fucking hungry, man. I've been eating nothing but baked bean cans and orange juice for months. I'll do anything for nutrition.
God.
That checks
He-
out.
He's got that gaunt look like he's been studying all night and all day and he's just hungry as hell.
Those academy mages are fucking psychos, man. They don't eat enough. They starve those poor bastards.
And they're like,
Well-
if you have time to eat, you have time to study. Puts down spell book, groans.
There's, if that's it, I will show Lamine my findings.
I have to share these findings.
Like, look.
You could continue one more investigation if you
Okay,
would like.
never mind. I
but
would like
We
to.
can also share that with Lamine.
I'll show. She looks like she's into a really good book about a dragon
You-
or something.
Maybe wait until she's done reading. She looks
Yeah.
really into it. You can
Yeah.
tell by when occasionally she'll put her hand over her mouth like,
I can imagine Mordrin being like, "Oh wait, she's actually into that book. Okay, I won't bother her because I understand that completely."
Mordor
Sure, I
knows.
don't imagine her emoting a whole lot, but
It's, I mean, with as many accolades as that book has, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep,
the Vinton gave it a 6 out of 10. That's pretty fucking great.
Yep, considering that you don't kill the dragon.
And they still thought it was, they don't kill the dragon, and the interviewers or reviewers were still like shrugs shoulders, looks at each other. Pretty good.
6 out of 10. Lost 4
Yeah.
points because the dragon didn't die. It wasn't, or rather, it wasn't a story about killing the dragon.
I imagine a bunch of Vinton wearing like suits and glasses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very burly dudes
Okay.
wearing like nerd
I will
outfits.
make another investigation check then,
With advantage.
with advantage.
Lamine, if you would like, you could take this time to make another check unless you're content with your romance novel.
A 26.
Did Lamine
I'm pretty okay with her being actually useless right now. to be honest.
It's like,
That's
oh.
26.
Oh.
Awesome.
26.
That will actually get you something far more relevant, which is a
Hey.
shipping. It's a book on ships and basically the various interest points when traveling in and around Brosnov.
Mhm.
Primarily by water. And
Well,
it goes into some details about a lot of the local landscapes on the coast side of Brosnov, which includes a lot of the northern fishing villages outside of Brosnov, and it includes a lot of these interesting points, such as the fortress. And it actually goes into quite some detail regarding some of those battles that you looked into. The information itself also is fairly kind of put in brief because they don't want to. It's not specific to the material, or it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to go too specific on these. But it does talk about, kind of gives a very summarized history about what we kind of already know of from those battles, which is it's kind of had a lot of changes throughout its many years, many centuries of being built. The island itself was initially just a big old like a kind of like a stopping point for ships, and so it formerly used to be kind of this like active trade station, more or less, until it got overrun by raiders.
Raider.
Or not overrun, but assaulted and attacked by raiders, and then it was slowly converted into this big fortress. It kind of gives you more of a detail regarding the structure and more of the history of the design of this place. And it has actually some details, not really interior details, but more so exterior details of the fortress, how it looks like from the outside. And it really gives you a great idea of what you're looking at, if you would go there yourself. Which is to say, it's very... It's very weird. Like, in terms of Brosnov architecture, this is like, it doesn't fit the Brosnov architecture too well, if that makes sense.
Although that would make sense given the fact that we now know it's Order inspired
Yeah.
as well.
So it's, first of all, the fortress has a very, very bizarre shape to it, where it has this like box-like profile. Like, imagine just this like, it's this big rocky island with one side of it has this big like large dock. Like, it's got a bunch of docks for like large ships to kind of come in and park up and take off. So it's kind of got this like very square, blocky initial shape, and then it has this sort of weird layering to it. It's like it's almost like a cake, where there's like just weird layers on it, and you can see clearly on the like the way it's, because it has like drawn pictures on some of the pages where like there's an illustrator who like artfully like made in a nice little ink quill illustrations as if he was like coming to it. Yeah. So it's got a nice little like illustration of it. So picture if you will, this nice little sandy colored paper, and it's got this like black ink quilled on like illustration of it that looks really nice. But it looks like it's got boxes stacked on boxes, and they're not cleanly stacked either. Like, there's a little bit of like edge here, edge there on some of them, and that was because of the way it was just kind of built up. The lowest base, like the base of it, was actually built as very, very strong. But it was more Brosnov, but not so much the dwarven Brosnov side. So it has a very, what's the word? It's not really dwarf looking. It's more very human looking, like human types of structures. So it has a more it's like an angular kind of look rather than like a nice clean, like you have angles, but it kind of makes sort of a circle sort of thing that dwarves have going. So it has a very, very jagged, almost a jagged sort of look to it. But it's a nice 4 square shaped fortress, and it had like kind of like jutting out stars, like a more modern fortress have like those sort of star formations. So it has little star points, which they would later get rid of when the Order came in. And so when they added their layer, there was a slight flaw in the structure, and so everything sort of pushed a little bit to one side. So it kind of has this like sort of toppling effect, where it looks like the fortress kind of has this like, it's kind of like it's starting to lean a little bit to one side, and then the next layer kind of counter leans to it, and the next layer it sort of leans back again. So there's a slight kind of weird sort of look to that.
Some jank ass engineering is this?
To even further that, hold on one second.
Okay.
Some janky engineering.
Yeah.
Wonder how Lamine is liking that book.
She's liking it.
Hooray!
Okay. Right. So
It's
the
time
second
for
layer,
the book.
which is considered the biggest part of this structure, is the layer that the Order worked on, and they say that for its time, Bastion, this is kind of where Bastion gets its fame from this time of creating really, really amazing structures, fortifications and such. And they basically had a scheme for how they would create these fortifications, and they basically applied the same principles when creating it. And however, that being said, it contrasts heavily with the rest of the structure, which is to say, rather than like how the base is very box-like, it gets this like nice rounded sides. Like everything has curves to it that's kind of like more flows with the structure. It's got the so like the second recreation of the fort has this like sort of strange jankness where it's got this like angular base, and then it's got this nice flowy curved top to it. and then it has like instead of the stars, it has on the four corners these like kind of like open top towers, and they were armed to the teeth with cannons. Anywhere they could stick guns on, they pretty much were just like put guns on that bitch. And so they had these like very wave-like setups, and but the way they were built had this like design idea where it's like, okay, well, we're gonna have a slight curve so that we can train several guns in the same direction so they can all fire at the same target fairly like accurately. So they had these like kind of semi-kill zones basically set up on these walls, and it was the curve also kind of adjusted to be able to sort of, I mean, it wasn't really that applicable to the fortress, but the idea behind it was that these curves were built in such a way where it could try and deflect cannon fire, but it was still kind of a flat shape, so it wasn't that great.
Curved swords.
So you have these weird curves and bends that are kind of built into this fortress, and this part is actually a really tall part of the fortress. To which then its third iteration, which would become sort of its final one, is where the dwarf inspiration takes hold and more of the Brosnov modernizations kind of come in. And at this point, there's a lot of jank happening here. They kind of try and like build off of what the order makes, but then like parts of it they kind of just sort of said this doesn't really work here, so we're gonna do what we know. So parts of the fortress has like the dwarves are trying to recreate sort of what the bastion was doing. However, at a point, it just sort of defaults back to just make it dwarfy, make it like nice, solid, uniform. We have angles, but they're very clean angles. So they have these.
Just settle with make it dwarfy.
Yeah, make it dwarfy. But they did install a few things. They have at this point they had an outlying tower. It was more like there was a small lighthouse that sat on a rock that was like right next to the island, so it's really just still part of the island. However, what they did is that the lighthouse, in its first iterations, the lighthouse was big enough. It wasn't a very big lighthouse, but in the beginning it was big enough because it was just a rocky island and it was just tall enough to get over the fortress. After the Bastion Knights came in and redid it, it was smaller than it, and it was more like a lookout piece. But it wasn't really, it was mostly disregarded. But after that tower got repurposed, and they rebuilt, well, they didn't rebuild, but they repurposed, and they kind of took out the lighthouse top, and then just built more of the tower on top to match the rest of the fortress, and they put a little bridge to connect it all, so that they could just have people go into that tower to serve as a lookout. And yeah, so you have it's a real Frankenstein looking fortress.
Sounds like one.
It's an oddity and an archaeological or architectural nightmare. But
Man, it really do sound like if you broke some certain parts of it, it would just all come collapsing down.
Yeah. Surprisingly, though, it actually still doesn't have it's actually boasted of having a pretty solid structural integrity, and its absolutely bizarre design actually lends to its strength more than deteriorates it. That being said, it was heavily tested when the Bastion came through and tried to break it apart. And they do kind of note that, yes, that the Bastion were actually able to seriously damage a part of the fort, to the point where it's actually irreparable because of the
strange architecture.
Because this architecture is literally like 3 generations of different types and 3 different types of like architectural styles. I wouldn't even say 3 generations. There's 3 different architects. It's like trying to fix it is just like, okay, well, I don't know what this is. It's like, yeah, it's you're here in the middle of Europe with your non-European plugs for your devices. That's how fucked things got, basically.
for your Japanese humidifier.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like nothing makes sense. What is any of this?
Yep. So, the damage was done to like pretty much where the initial Brosnov and Bastion creation, like we're pretty much that midpoint where the Bastion orders stonework and the base is. Which is to say, somewhere in the either the first or second floor. It's kind of hard to gauge it, and however, the artist does kind of try. You could see that he kind of notes that they were able. It was really hard. They said that they're not too certain. However, they feel like the area, the quote unquote exposed weakness that the Brosnov architects tried to cover up, is somewhere on the north side of the structure, and it sits right under some of the rock work. So what they ended up doing was they kind of put a rather weak sort of reinforcement. It's not a full repair, and then they tried covering it up with some of the sea rocks to make it look like it's just part of the rocks
It's
just jutting out
natural.
to kind of yeah, to basically have the sea rocks just kind of sort of clutch it.
Clutch.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, there's a big fucking hole, but yeah, and you can see in the illustration, it's almost like a bleeding wound, like a gunshot wound in sort of the way that the illustration sort of describes it. It's the mortal wound of Blackrock, as the author sort of romantically puts it.
Appropriate.
Yeah, it's a little embellished.
As one might expect.
Yeah. Well, if Lamine is now done with her book, then I will share my findings.
I have to share these findings.
I had to share these findings.
There's definitely, when you come up to her, she's reading. Like when you get to her and you're like, "Yeah, I got some things to show you." That's when she's like, "All right, I was like thinking I was supposed to be doing something."
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Mortar doesn't seem to be.
He don't mind.
Yeah, he does not mind. He's like, oh.
she's not gonna bring it up.
She's like,
Embarrassed.
A little bit like, let's just forget this happened.
like, I guess you like those kind of books. Okay.
Oh yeah. Also,
mean,
another
like,
small detail forgot to
All she
mention.
reads.
As you would have suspected, yeah, the fortress the fortress is boasted to have never lost a battle.
Boast.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
boasts to have never lost a battle.
Yeah.
In that case, the solution is to not battle it.
Well, no shit. We're not gonna battle it. Can you imagine if we're just like, yes, 4 or 5 adventurers just show up to a fortress, take it down, save 2 people.
That's when you get the college students.
Oh
Yep.
my god. But yeah, what were you
Bribe
saying,
all
Shen?
of the wizard college students.
Oh god, I'm hungry.
What do I think about what?
Oh no, I thought you were saying something.
No, that was
Okay.
it. Mina's
Okay.
patiently waiting for
Information.
elaborate
Yeah.
to her.
So,
And yeah, she will and he'll blabber it out to her.
Homework was
Condensed
never a
as
strong
much
suit.
as he can.
Homework
There's-
was never a strong suit.
It's
Yeah.
not much to condense, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, Mortar will just kind of like be like, was that part important?
I think
Probably not. Just the main
key
points
points
to
being
her.
key points being structural weakness. It looks like a fucking shit stack, and it is a shit stack. And it's the order actually has a pretty good stake in it, against and with it. That's
Yeah,
the
basically,
big
like-
one, I think.
Like, yep, this is the information I found.
but you gotta be careful in case the information finds you.
Oh.
It's happened.
It has, and it's always dangerous.
I am informed.
Look,
No.
at least there isn't like a mysterious presence that's like pushing Mortarin to do something in the library. So
I know, right? Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
weird? Haha.
Hmm. Haha. Anyways, make that wisdom save. No.
Con save right now.
you're not the DM. Oh wait, no, fuck.
There's the con save. Just biding its time.
And knowing Mortarin, he'd probably pass it for some fucking weird reason.
Unless he doesn't.
If he doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised.
Technically, he'd get a bonus to it because he's near Lamine.
Oh, you have your paladin. Oh yeah, auras are level 6.
Yeah.
Yay.
Level 6.
But yeah, this is all the information I found.
It tastes like numbers.
Numbers,
Numbers.
Holy- That's not
numbers,
disgusting.
numbers.
In detail, anyway.
Anyways, we're gonna tell Cyphus we're going to war.
Cyphus
Hey, so
scramble the
Cyphus-
Valvadiri fleet.
Yeah. Yeah. Excuse. Dude would be like, "Excuse me. We need all the warships here now."
Like,
That's
okay, Cyphus, so we either you send the fleet or we're sending a 400-year-old vampire into your room.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't actually have full authority of the Valvadiri Navy. Hello?
we really need them though.
Gee. Oh, gee, what a shame.
It's tragic,
Yeah, you don't.
Cyphus. Awful.
Awful. Anyways, we'll need them by tomorrow because we're in trouble.
Yeah, it's like either they're gonna be here tomorrow or you get a 400-year-old vampire in your room tomorrow.
You gotta send that man back to his deathbed.
Yeah, no kidding.
He frequently is at the deathbed. That man barely has
know.
the energy to get out of bed.
No,
He,
he's already having it rough.
I was gonna say, given his sense of luck, it would be like the day he feels great and he's like, "Wow, I can get out of bed." Cyphus, a message, sir. What is it? Reads the message. Oh, gets back in bed. Oh,
Nope.
Yeah.
which, to be honest, same, but you know.
I'm still imagining just painfully suffering Cyphus, bedridden, and he's just like trying to get sleep, and there's just Lady Yuki poking his face like, "Hey, do something.
Do something.
Do
Oh,
something. I'm bored. I need alcohol and attention."
Sent him the needy goth vampire.
Yeah, Murder wouldn't have gone into any detail, mostly for Lamine's sake. And also, you know,
Okay,
Professor.
lessons
Oh,
like
no,
this,
not the time.
her, out of all the everything she did, like the noble lessons, things like this, not as strong as it.
Yeah.
Not really.
Me?
Great at
Yeah.
things like this.
Yeah,
Like
he
focus on
could-
words. She's like, I want to
Consider.
die.
Yeah, he condensed it all to be bite-sized little piece for Lamine.
Launch-sized.
The
The relevant
extremely
stuff.
relevant
The
particulars.
extremely relevant stuff.
But like
Yep.
that age.
Never mind the people who built or paid for it. Just, aside from, hey, the Bastion did help. And, the Castellan was so-and-so, who was a Blue Rose Admiral.
What if he was a Sardinian
I
admiral?
mean, would take note of that. But
Yeah. It was a Blue Rose Admiral who commandeered it, and they, with the combined assistance, had managed to destroy the pirate navy.
Cool.
Yep.
But yeah,
Just some interesting things.
Mortar will probably go back to reading me like, okay, I won't bother you anymore and continue on with that book. Have fun with it.
What if it's the Sardinia Empire?
he's
Sardinia
somewhat confused, but accepts it.
So like, you seem to be interested in that book, so I'll just continue to see if I can find anything else, and you just go.
Reading Rainbow.
we just gonna... Is Yasha just gonna come meet us? That seems reasonable.
I assume so, yeah.
I didn't think that the travel would be that long, especially since Yasha's not exactly like, you know, he's not Yasha walking, he's actually moving rather quickly.
He's Yasha pogging.
Yeah.
He's Yasha pogging. He will once he gets a gun, but right now he's hurriedly making his way to his destination.
Yep. You're going to the gun, yes?
To the gun.
Yes. You go and visit the
I'm gonna be
Alright. You visit Weston's.
good old Westons.
I had to look him up. I had to look through my old fucking records just to see what I named that guy. Found the VOD and I was just like, okay, what's this bastard's name? I spent so much time trying to find that point. It's a good thing I put up something on the thing where it's just like, oh, there's a gun here. Okay, I found him.
There's a gun.
So I didn't have to go through like 4.5 hours of stream to find it.
It's gun.
Gun.
Gotta go talk to Lochenko. But yeah, Westons.
Yep. You meet with Weston, and of course he is happy as always to have met you, or have you in return.
Yep, and Yasha feels the same. He's like, you know, how's it going? Doing good, etc. Small talk.
Doing good.
Business is good. Gold is good. Business
God
is good.
good. In any case,
This guy sounds like a lot like someone else I know.
but anywho,
Strain.
yeah, he welcomes you and he's just like, I was wondering when I'd see you again. I've been working with that material you gave me and those design ideas and had something put in for you.
Oh, well, what's that?
Well, I have something to show you, and he offers you to come into the little workshop that he's got set up in his back room.
Which Yasha will gladly oblige. Just pitter patter in there.
Yep, and you see sitting on his little on his table. There's something sitting over with a that's been like draped over with a cloth, and he unveils it, and it is an absolutely amazing, massive rifle that's sitting on his work table.
Oh.
It's a rifle, but it's got a fairly pronounced barrel compared to like most rifles, but it's not too it's not too crazy like most of his other designs, because you know he has some pretty esoteric designs, and the man likes building his Jazales as well. Like he's got that really funky Afghanistan style stock that kind of inspired, where it's got that like really nice
Jazales.
Yeah, he's got that really cool like that really cool stock where it just like dips down. It has a real sharp curve and goes into the shoulder real nicely.
Yeah.
And like, but he has that to that extent. That sort of what do you call it? That design where it has very nice it's got really nice looking filigree just kind of attached to it or to the barrel, but it's not overly gaudy, and it's not it's not initially eye-catching, which is interesting. It kind of blends into the wood, which that wood that you used, you can see sort of is now kind of molded in with the rest of the woodwork in an almost like a very artful way. It's almost like it's like several pieces of wood sort of woven nicely and then cleanly sanded and shaped into a rifle. So it's like kind of nicely combined, but it doesn't look like it's got any cracks or flaws. Where it's like if you like took it and smack it, it would break apart.
It doesn't look like it's doesn't look cobbled together.
Yeah, this gun is nicely made.
This is a good time for Yasha Pog.
Yep.
Yasha Pog.
Yasha Pog.
And he sort of goes over some of the basics, and he's just like, here you go, first cartridge is free, and he gives you 10 bullets.
Oh boy. Thanks. Using special bullets?
Not particularly, but figured you don't you get a rifle, you get yourself some complimentary bullets.
I see. Is there anything special about these particular bullets, or
No, they're bullet.
bullet? Okay. I
Yeah.
actually do already have some rifle rounds, so I'll just add them to my number.
Yep. They just kind of come with they come with every order.
Complimentary bullets.
Complimentary bullets.
Welcome
But,
back.
Yeah. So they're really nice. They've got the stock is, like I said, it's got a nice fusion of that magical wood, but then it's also got sort of very stark, like almost like a dark brown sort of matte to the stock. And it doesn't go out too far, and it has a bit of a device that sort of like lets you sort of how would I put it? It flips it. Yeah, it's got a little
Hip.
not what is it, a hinge? Yeah, it's got a bit of a hinge towards where the like the bolt action and all that is
It's
happening.
a mousetrap.
Yeah, yeah, it's a mousetrap. No, it's the stock works in a way where it's like nice and comfortable for like a sharpshooter to use, but also you can fold it back, and from the underside you can pull on a little switch, and basically it becomes sort of a two-handed spear.
Nice. This is
with
good
the
shit.
naginata at the end.
Little flips out.
Yep. The naginata actually, it doesn't flip out. It slides forward. There's like a little like it sits on like on a sheath, and it just slides straight forward in front of the barrel. So
Nice.
the one downside is while you're in this, you obviously can't shoot because the naginata, the way the mount sets up, it covers the barrel.
It makes sense.
But also it's like, well, you couldn't shoot anyways because you just flipped the stock forward, so.
I mean that makes sense. It's you can't be trying to do both.
So yeah, I already kind of went over with you on like the specifics and costs, which is to say there is a slight. I am gonna add a little slight more cost to it, which is gonna be it's $13.50 for the whole thing.
No problem. I already took out 1,200, so I'll minus the rest. No problem.
And if you wanna go over some of the details, or if you want me to kind of go over, but yeah.
Or some Oh, nice.
What
the hell was I doing? Wait, what? Okay. But yeah.
So after he kind of switches it, I'll kind of describe it, but basically the way that little special trick that I kind of told you about, the little charge shot, works is basically the bolt, when you load the shot in with the bolt, what you do is there's a little thing on the stock that is actually like connected to the to that magic wood part of it, and then when you activate that shot, it that wood kind of gives like a, I want to say like an emerald like glint to it, like it's sort of shine, like it lights up a little bit. And then he kind of demonstrates, obviously he doesn't shoot it, but kind of demonstrates what.
Let me check it out.
Like, watch this. So he lights it up, and then he kind of lines up like he's gonna ready for a shot, obviously with no bullets to fire.
Yeah.
But so what he does is he kind of lines up the shot, the entire stock, or at least the magical part, the magical wood part that you used, lights up a nice emerald, and it the part of it that reaches and is touching the filigree that goes up along the barrel, like along the wood that's under the barrel and on the barrel, kind of all lights up all the way to the end. And as he brings up to aim down his sights, part of that filigree that goes over the barrel kind of sparks up a little light, and there's a little green circle that kind of like sort of spirals a bit, kind of almost like a little like aim, like a target to look down.
It's a little reticle.
Yeah, like an aiming reticle. And he says, "You just
Oh.
just point this thing at something you don't like, and it goes away."
You got that EOTech.
Yeah, I know, right? Damn. Oh shit. This is a fancy fucking rifle.
Yep. After that, he taps the thing again, and it powers down.
Ew.
Yeah. So you got
shit, son.
some green LED lights on that thing when the next time you smoke some
Yo.
guy.
He gave me one of the most deadliest things in the world, RGB lighting.
It's only set to green, so it's that classic razor green.
That's how you know it's a classic.
Yeah.
Green RGB lighting is good for the environment, so
Yep.
as we all know.
Eco-friendly. I mean, it also makes sense. It's a tree.
Yeah. It's Yasha's MO anyway, so eco-friendly, murderous,
Eco-friendly.
good weapon.
Of course, naturally, after you kill someone, you have to Fortnite dance over their body.
That's what that learned dancing skills for. It was all that club dancing was so I could prepare for my Fortnite dancing.
Yep.
But anyway,
Man,
very nice.
You get blasted by some kid with a glowing green rifle, and then they just do the floss.
They start flossing. They start flossing as your vision fades.
Like what?
I think of that. I think
Why
of
would
that
you do
post of of
Oh my God.
of Vietnam Part 2, where it's like
Oh
some
my
kid
God.
some kid with his RGB rifle's gonna smoke me like Fortnite dance on top of my body and yeet me into the bushes. Or it's like instead it's just a Tetsu Slayer just being all like, yeah, some fucking some amnesic asshole's gonna smoke me with his RGB rifle, Fortnite dance, and yeet me into the ocean.
Ah! God. Pange.
Much pain.
But yeah, I thank him very much so for the rifle. While Yasha pogging.
Yep.
Visible Yasha pogging. It is a very fine one. I'll remember you if I ever need anything else.
Indeed. While I can't say I'm very good at retailoring rifles, I can see what I can do about yours. But
Well,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, nice. Well, I mean, for more stuff, come back, maybe.
I see. Well, for sure. Do come back, and we can do more business. And like I said, if there's anything that might need, you might want to have me take a look at with that one. I can't do much, but I can see what I can do.
I suppose, what's on the side? Do you have any special rifle bullets just laying around, or nah?
Special rifle bullets? No.
Just to mess with the concept.
Yo, you got any slap rounds lying about?
You got some? You got any discarded Sabo?
Got any-
God.
Back in my day, I used to just carry tons of dragon's breath.
Jesus. Had just pockets full of them.
Had pockets full of them. I was handing them out to the kids like candy. Wow. He says he doesn't because, well, part of the whole Tetsuguard limitations is he can't really have he can the way his business is, he can commission to make special ammo, but he can't have it like standing for sale. It has to be for a buyer who's made it.
I see.
So
They don't
I
want
see.
them
Okay.
coming off the road and just
yeah,
buying some random like armor-piercing incendiary round.
yeah, they don't.
Blasting into a Tetsuguard truck.
Yeah, the Tetsuguard doesn't. Yeah, they don't want gangers like just randomly getting their hands on some fucking something that can put baseball-sized holes in people or buildings because they have to deal with that. So, as kind of a law, it's like he can only make rifles. He can only make special rounds if it's requested. But yes,
They might
he
be
can do it
assholes, but that is a fair stance to have.
because
That is, yeah, it is a very fair stance to have.
Yep. It's he kind of explains like, well, because Tetsuguard doesn't want people with putting giant holes in in people and buildings, and two, if there is someone who's putting holes in people where they shouldn't, they can come and ask me who I sold them to and find out that way.
I see.
It's
Okay,
easier to
well,
it's easier to figure out who's the asshole, setting people on fire with magic bullets when there's only one guy who bought those bullets.
I see. Okay, well, never mind then. Thank you.
Yep. It's easier to trace.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, Yasha might not bother with his special bullets because that's just too much of a giveaway. So, maybe not.
Ugh. Very well. Well, should you
Actually,
need
I
any...
have a question, boss.
I have an answer.
Would it be possible to enchant normal bullets?
Possibly.
That
I
may
guess
be
so.
something I could consider, but
Yeah. Well,
after
specialized bullets aren't.
everything else.
Specialized bullets isn't a terrible need, so it's just like, oh, okay, well then, so be it.
Yeah. From the player's perspective, maybe something to consider when the Tetsugard isn't hounding you.
Yeah, I would also maybe not consider it because I like this guy,
Make them hound it again.
and it's pretty obvious what's going on if people start catching fire and exploding.
Yeah.
So
Like,
maybe not this guy. I like this guy, but I'll get guns from him.
Yep.
It's a little harder to go after someone just on the precepts that, hey, this guy just sniped me. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of sniper rifles in Brosnov,
Yep, they all fire the same, more or less the same kinds of rounds.
Yeah, it's easier to find someone if there's like, hey, this round went through my friend's shoulder and exploded and turned into knives.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay.
That being said, I mean,
Okay.
the gun already can do quite a lot for you.
Yeah. But it's just more like, you got anything on the side? Nah, it's cool. Fine.
Yeah. Which, party, if you'd like to know, basically Yasha's rifle gets one charge, and I'm doing it after every long rest. It gets one special charge, and basically it gets 6 shots on the reload. Does standard D10 plus 4 damage, just like pretty much every other rifle. The special charge shot, however, does 8d6 plus 4 damage if it hits you.
It's a railgun.
Yeah, it's basically like a mini railgun. The other thing is, in addition, that nice little LED light trick, basically when he's, if you're looking at someone, you get advantage if you can see them. Also, enemies in cover don't count as being in cover when it's shooting at someone. So you basically get like the spell sniper, except,
It's a bullet sniper.
yeah.
Bullet sniper.
In addition to that, if the target is behind a structure, you can fire through it and ignore the first.
I thought it was just one of these things.
Well, yeah. One wall basically.
Oh no, I mean like features. I thought it was just either that or the other.
Oh no, that's the whole package.
I see.
When I was going over the two packages.
Oh, okay.
The first one was you can basically when you're staring at someone, this is the one you kind of rejected, which is if you stare at someone for long enough, you just know where they are for a while and get advantages.
I see. Okay.
And the other one, it's you aim at someone, you get advantage, and on top of that, you can.
I didn't realize it was a package deal. That's why I was like, oh, it's one or the other.
Yeah, it's not both.
That makes it. Wait, what?
It's not both.
Yeah.
But,
It's not.
But for this, it's you aim when you're aiming at someone, you get advantage to shooting at them with the charge shot. If you you can shoot this through, you basically can shoot this through a surface. The first surface it shoots through is automatically ignored, meaning the bullet will automatically punch through it. And it is, and then any subsequent surface it punches through beyond that It just has to, basically it makes an attack roll against that surface, and if it does enough damage to essentially to basically destroy that surface, it continues to pass through. So, in essence, if there's somebody who's hiding, yeah, it can pen through walls. There are limitations to it. If it's shooting outside of its range, the damage will stack up. So, in the example I kind of gave to Yasha, let's say you're shooting a guy through who's like standing behind 4 different like walls. And so each wall has like 20 hit points. So you shoot through the first surface, goes through instantly. Second one, you need to deal 20 damage to that wall. And at 8d6, if you deal 20 damage, you go to the next wall, and then you have to do 8d6 again and again until you reach the target. With the other, if it's outside that range, that first wall, it'll go through. However, the next walls will add their health together, and you basically have to destroy them all in one hit.
One swoop.
So, what becomes, 4 separate sources of 20 hit points now becomes, 80 hit points.
A lot of hit points.
So, not likely you'll be getting through that. But then again,
You never know. But yeah, probably not.
And you get one of those basically per long rest.
Yeah, makes sense.
The ammo is not specialized. It's just a regular round. It's just the charge shot just like magically amps the bullet to do this shot. And of course, you don't need to see the target to do the charge shot. But if you do see the target,
it would help.
Yeah. If you do see the target, you gain advantage. But that's only for the charge shot.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just a +1 rifle.
Still very, very useful.
Yep. Anyways, there's your terrifying fucking railgun.
My railgun! Hooray! The child has a gun.
The child has a gun. Do, 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 do.
And I thank him greatly and scurry back to the party.
All right.
I don't know if there's tipping in Brosnov, so I don't know what the culture here for that is. I tipped the cab driver $25 because I'm scared and anxious.
No, Joel.
But yeah, I don't. Fucking Joel. God damn it. Poor dude. But yeah. I don't know if tipping's a thing here, but if, I thank him and move on, I suppose.
Yeah, no, he's happy. He pretty much paid him well.
Yeah,
in full
and any future projects that I have in mind, I will come back.
Yep. So you scurry on back, new rifle in hand, to the library. Natural place of a
I got
rifle.
this cannon.
Yeah, so I got this railgun, which he would strap to his back over his current weaponry.
Lovely.
He just needs to find a good chance to use that cannon she got.
Soon.
One day.
One day.
Hey, if we need to get through a door.
Yeah.
We call it call it the master key.
Well, there was that plugged up hole in the fortress. I'm sure a cannon could very easily
At point blank
unplug it.
range. Yeah, cannon at point blank range. Yeah, no kidding.
Just gotta get up close and you can blow them away. Anyways, you're all back at the library. Yasha has a gun. A new gun.
Hey, hooray!
much-
Yasha has a gun.
Roar.
Hooray! How? Did you run into anything? No. Hope not.
Looks at
You
the
did it right.
books. Looks back at you.
Yes. What about the books?
Are they good books?
Lamine was reading a good book.
Oh? What was it about?
I don't know. She didn't tell me.
Climbs on Lamine.
You didn't really ask either. To be fair.
You know what?
It's
You know what?
romance.
Sure.
I
Oh.
don't read anything besides romance or adventure. It's actually both.
Well, both. You can have romance and adventure?
Yes, of course.
I thought it was one or the other.
Definitely.
You learn something new every day.
Oh, Shen.
Eh?
I think I've got the name for
Oh, God.
for that novel.
Great.
You better give it to you better show it to Caiaphas. He might be interested if he hasn't read it before.
Get my own copy of it.
It's called Measured in Scales.
A good title, actually. It's a
Amazing.
good title.
Fuck. That is a good title.
Alright.
I'm writing it down. That's so good.
I need to write it down because I'm gonna
It's
have
yours now. You're gonna go buy that book.
I am.
Yeah, you gotta tell
make
Cypress
see
about
it
it.
happen. You already know the gist of it. It's a pauper turned nobility, looking for love and finding it in many places.
In many scales.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Thanks. So wait, that means I should give you all of Caiaphas's books then, because well, all the books he gives me is all romance novels.
Don't know why you're not already.
Oh, you like romance novels too, Caiaphas? Or Caiaphas, Jesus. You like romance novels too, Morderin?
Mortar just kind of looks at him. Does it look like I do?
The answer is yes.
Well, Yasha didn't say anything, but I guess since Mom Lamine said so, then he's gonna agree and nod his head.
Oh my god. I mean, if there's nothing else to read it.
There's still this omnibus right here with 30 separate stories.
If I get bored enough, possibly. But for now, feel free to have it yourself. I have other things to do.
I have had it myself, thank you very much. You're definitely not reading it.
Nope.
You shunted that off to me just about the moment you got it. Not that
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm not complaining, however.
Good.
Morderin looks like he's complaining.
Yeah, well.
Why would it be? I just have other and better things to do with my time.
But reading's important.
It is, but there are other better kinds of books to be reading.
Quince.
Okay. I will rephrase that. I would rather read something that would hold my interest and also pertain to me.
What would that be?
Well, Morton goes off into the explanation of, hey, we found all this information about the fortress, but in a same condensed manner.
I'm just kidding. She doesn't fall asleep.
Leaps.
Oh.
Might lose a little bit of interest at some points, though.
Yeah, because she's already heard it before.
She's already heard it, and she was already kind of like zoning out sometimes initially.
Yeah. Like, you know, stuff like that, because it pertains to what we're trying to find out right now. Things like that.
I'm not sure if that really is meant to. Well, we know a little bit more about the fortress now.
Mm-hmm.
Has not really increased my. What's the word I'm looking for here? English, where are you? God, what was that?
Well, we unfortunately did not find a map of the other floors. The best is the drawings in this book.
Looks at the book.
Hmm?
I see.
That is indeed a book.
It is indeed a book.
You do see the book.
Some people call this a book.
Do you call it something else?
No, I'm like most people. I call it a book.
What else would you call it?
I'm not sure. I'm sure there's other words for it.
Food.
Food.
So basically, it was really just like weak point information, and definitely we don't want to attack this thing from the sides anywhere. If we do end up doing any kind of like assault,
Yeah.
that's like a bad idea.
Yeah, no, an assault is not something that would be good to do. But the north side sounds promising to at least infiltrate.
Yeah. Yeah, sneakiness means forte.
Gotta be sneaky.
Yeah.
Well. It's gonna be another session where I have the character without armor for different reasons, but
For different reasons.
Yeah. At least Mordorin can cast mage armor on everyone if they need it.
you cast it on other people.
I can. It's not concentration.
Yeah,
It's
you may
more-
cast.
And
You can
But
cast on other people.
Can you target other people though? Like,
Yeah.
yes, you touch a willing
There's
creature who
there-
isn't wearing armor.
Yeah, you can. There's even bits where people talk about
or shit.
paying your mage to keep a spell slot open for you, so that you can have
Yeah.
your mage armor depending on situations.
The best part about it, that particular spell cost me nothing. I can cast that shit whenever I want. Thanks,
Oh,
Warlock.
because your invocation, yeah. Okay. You know what?
Yeah.
I
That's
did
why-
not know that you could actually use it on other people. That spell of that invocation just got way better in my mind.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Also, that's why Mordorin has a permanent 16 AC because he never turns that shit off. He just
Yeah.
slaps it on.
If you got it at will, then it's like it's never off.
Yeah.
You can just keep on upping it.
Unless he goes into an area that like dispels magic or something, and I'll be like, oh shit.
And
But-
cast magic for greater than 8 hours, which is unlikely.
If your mage armor lasts for more than 8 hours, see your local doctor.
It's your local
I
cleric.
mean, even
Probably get
if
solid for, like,
all he needs is an action to cast it again.
The mage armor won't turn off.
But yeah,
Why?
that's what we have.
This is what we have.
I mean, if you want, I can just keep going through if there's anything that you possibly need me to look into. I can do that.
Is there anything else you want to consider looking into?
Nothing springs to mind.
No. It sounds like we do have a pretty good reason to go speak to the order, though.
Indeed.
Mortar grounds.
Or more reason to speak to the order, rather.
Yeah.
Do we want to do that first or talk to
Well-
Ares?
We can find
Yeah,
Eris and
Eris.
see what she has.
Ares. Thank
We
you.
might as well find Eris as we're in the area.
Yep. She might be a little tricky to pin down exactly, but you know she's in the area. She's just in one
We
of
have to go bar hopping.
you gotta go a
Yeah.
little
Find a bar.
gotta do a little bit of bar hopping.
Oh boy, bar hopping.
Except we're not even getting drunk. 'Cause we're
Nope.
trying to find some more.
You don't want Mordorin drunk. Mordorin doesn't
Josh,
want Mordorin drunk.
Well, me doesn't
Josh-
want to be drunk.
It reaches for the
That was
Vinton
work.
brew.
Alright, you have
Yes.
fun.
Drinks on the job.
I'm not actually your mother, so you do you.
Yes or no?
Hell, I'll drink with you.
Yeah, are you Mordorin's mom? Because sometimes I hear him call you mom. It would be like one of those things. He's just at the dinner table, just silent, and then he just says that, and just throws the whole situation in chaos.
I mean, desperately try not to die of laughter.
And Mortarin just being like, when did I even say that? I don't remember.
It would be, of course, it would be like when he's drunk or something.
Mm.
Could say some things, but I won't.
Not
yet,
this time.
anyways.
Not yet.
Not like this.
Not in front of my salad.
In front of my salad?
I mean, I guess just gotta go find Eris then.
Yep. Time to bar hop.
All right.
In
Time for an investigation check.
And for her, it was just kind of like we can just straight up say that that Timur sent us, like, or like we know
Yeah.
Timur, and he or rather he sent you, like
Timur sends his...
And Timur also assures that unlike Lady Yuki, Eris is
No,
not
you-
as
Timur sends his regards.
you don't have to, you won't have to,
deal
won't
with
have
that.
yeah. Eris is not problematic in that sort of regard. If you go and you talk with Eris, you'll be fine.
You know who is? Me. I'm problematic.
Yeah.
Dumb building.
I'm gonna laugh if everybody rolls better than Mortarin.
First, what do we want to actually go speak to her about? Like, what do we want to ask her?
Very nicely. Hey, can you get us on the prison island? Is that a thing you can do?
We go,
But you know.
going on?
Okay, sure.
He's gonna straight up yell like, "Hey, can you get us to Black Rock?"
Maybe we should...
Not
Well,
in the open.
more elegantly.
Who starts a conversation like that?
We do.
Mortarin does.
Just like, who sits down and starts a conversation like that?
Just roll up on this stranger and like, "Listen, lady, and you listen good. We know that you work with Timur, and he sent us to you, and we want you to take us to Black Rock pronto."
It's like, what the fuck?
This woman's in the middle of her drink, just like, what?
As many would.
Good thing Mortarin is not the talker of the party, because he would.
Yeah,
He-
thankful for everyone.
Yeah,
We need to-
thankfully. Thankfully.
Thankfully.
Thankfully for him as well. He may not realize it, but it's for his own good. But yeah, so we did not roll terribly.
Not this time.
Nope.
You said it.
I disagree with that
These
statement.
guys were your investigation checks.
Yep,
Mhm.
14, 16, 13.
Okay, let me roll some dice.
My game uses dice.
Packed all my dice away because they were making a mess. So,
Oh.
Bust them back out and make the mess again.
Sounds about right.
We ain't nothing but people who mess around are here. Gotta look at your dice, be like, you messing?
You messin'? Okay, so... oh, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
So, one location, since you all kind of go, I give you 3 results on this one. So your first location, ends up actually being rather, fruitless. No one really shows up to kind of offer anything. Like, she's not there. No one really offers any like aid
Wow.
either if you investigate further.
Be
they're
like,
just
go to the
you straight
bartender,
up,
like, hey man, just says nothing, looks at us.
Hey, I'm
Wow.
Yeah, you pretty much get nothing,
The cold shoulder.
no one that really kind of fits the information of Eris, and upon questioning about her, you get no real helpful responses to say the least.
We got the whole last blizzard from that
Yeah.
guy.
You get the whole They pretty much just kind of like look, I'm not the lost and found. Go bother someone else. You're either buying a drink or you're taking up space. The next two places, however, Eris is not there. However, you do happen to have some helpful folks who kind of say where she frequents, which is actually really close to the port or really close to the docks. There's a dingy little bar that only like a few sailors go there because it's just like a little. It's a shack, basically. It's a shack.
Oh.
Okay.
I need to go to the shack.
Yeah.
Crab shack.
Crab Shack.
Crap shack.
Great.
Crab shack.
A place of pure, delicious chaos.
Beware of crab.
Time for crab.
Time
Time
for
for crab.
crab.
Why is it always crab?
Why is that?
Why is it always mushroom?
Is it always mushroom? Why is it always mushroom? God damn it.
Because
Um,
Miyazaki fucking loves his mushrooms and
Yeah.
hardy living things.
Yep. I mean, there was a mushroom enemy that would punch you and kill you instantly.
I love that guy.
Great deck you.
Yep. Anyways, yeah, you pretty much get pointed in the right direction, and much to your fortune, nothing really bothers you, as you make your way to what I mean. They're pretty dead on when they describe this place as a shack.
It's just,
It's a,
guess what? It's a shack.
It's a it's a rickety building sitting on the docks. However, it does have a sign, and it's got an old lobster with holding a bubbly brew in his hand. Like imagine like a mug root beer, but it's that shit ain't root beer. And it's like pincer claw, and it's called the frothing lobster.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Gucci is staring at a door.
Why you do that?
I don't know. Gucci, are you okay?
Cat's just like, why is this door?
What is door? Why is door?
How is
How
door?
is door?
Who is door?
Everyone asks who the door is, but they never asked how the door is.
Why
That
is
was-
door?
Is that what you're doing, Gucci? Are you asking how there's the door?
He responds.
No?
Yeah,
Something to note while you're heading into this shack is there's a lot of vittin around this part of the docks.
Cool.
Which kind of gives you the vibe that the Khan's navy is hanging around here.
Fine. We don't have beef with them.
Gives
Yeah.
them roast beef.
I mean, wasn't it like some of the cons that accosted us in that one alleyway?
Yeah,
You literally
but-
paid them to fuck off.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I guess you just convinced these men to actually leave you alone with money. They're like, okay. They were actually kind of disappointed. They're vittin, so they like a good fight and a good story about it.
And
They'll-
they'll have to find that story somewhere else.
What if we have to fight for a story?
Oh, now they got a story about how they were like, give us a ludicrous amount of money or we'll beat you up, and then they did get paid.
Yeah.
They're like,
Their
yeah,
story is they actually got money out of it.
give us a lot of give us as much of your fucking money as you can. Okay. Wow, that
Okay.
well,
Whoa.
I
okay.
don't know what I expected.
I didn't expect that to work.
All right then.
Didn't expect to get this far.
Be on your
I'll
way.
be honest.
See ya. Ugh,
Hey,
okay.
60 gold well lost. I guess. Oh shit! Actually,
Oh yeah, you would have been able to refill that, so I guess you gotta roll.
Anyways, you head
We
into the
did
shack.
rest. So. Okay, we head into the shack.
Unless there's anything you guys want to check out. I mean,
Nope.
it's quite literally like it's quite literally waterfront like over here. There's there's a few not big ships, but you can see the big ships off in the distance. But there's some of the smaller vessels and ship the stuff that's like dinghies and other support vessels that kind of come along with the big ships that are like docked up.
Dinghies.
Dinghies, so to speak.
Gets dinged.
Oh. What's interesting is that there's like winches all over the place with these like little dinghies just kind of lining alongside the dock.
Oh.
And it's they even have like a whole like device where it's like multiples of these ships sitting on like a little chain, so it's like 6 dinghies sitting on like a single winch basically, and it's able to like roll them all out onto the thing on like a little ramp that just kind of launches them all
Into space even.
into space even. No. Very well. You enter this tiny shack, and it is as you would kind of imagine. It's pretty friggin' cramped. There's only like 6 people. Like there's only enough room for 6 people.
Oh boy.
Which is to say, there's mostly because 3 of them are Vinton, and lo and behold, at the front, where the barkeep is sitting behind a counter, which is more like the counter is kind of like, imagine like a water barrel, and then the top has like a converted series of planks that just has about like a foot and a half worth of like elbow to like lean space to like put stuff on. It just kind of sits in the corner, and then there's a few little like seats, and they're just seats. There's not even tables.
Where'd the tables go?
There's no room for the fucking tables.
Why not? This is terrible design.
It is. It's a rickety shack.
Hey, my people hear of this.
Uh-huh. You can't cut funding from the frothing lobster. You'll pay for this.
Falls to chaos.
Oh.
Can't cut funding from the librarian.
But okay, give me 2 seconds because I need to look up something. So here we go. All right. So at this table there is, or at the counter, this tiny fucking counter, there is there is this elven woman who also kind of is sporting a rather nice looking coat, the rather seaworthy sort of attire, but she's got this big, like, not quite big like imposing, but long captain's.
Massive.
She's got a captain's cloak basically, like a sea captain's coat. She's about rather average height with despite her sea captain's coat, you can kind of see this like rather hourglass shape of a woman, and you can see kind of, because her back's to you, this very, very long blonde hair that's tied about halfway with some brown and black braids poking through.
Oh.
Okay.
And despite the rowdiness of really these 4 Vinton and 3 Vinton, this one other guy, her and the barkeep, it's he's kind of quietly attending to her drink.
Okay. I will probably just step up behind her and call it her name. Eris.
Oh, Go
Nah,
ahead.
I'm just. I'd probably, for the moment at least, motion for. Or have in some form have Mordor and Yasha kind of hang back for a second. Partially because it is cramped up there, and like
Walls on the ceiling.
like make it okay. That's fair. Sure. Yasha does Yasha things.
If it gets cramped enough, he will like crawl on the walls or the ceiling.
I would expect no less. I think. But yeah. Just so there's not like 3 of us bunching up together up there, and I'm the one who's talking. So, I mean, like it'd be easy to tell that they're with me or whatever, but this is kind of like.
I mean, honestly, if it's so cramped, Mortar would just be cool just waiting outside.
That's up to him. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That is
think
something
he
that
would.
I was thinking or considering as well, that it might, depending on how like actually cramped it is.
It's pretty cramped. Like
Yes, I
you
do.
stepping in kind of already like makes it kind of uncomfortable to like be in this building.
All right. Yeah, I can just go talk to her. If for some reason you do hear shouting, maybe run in, but the usual.
Yeah, obviously, if there sounds like trouble in there, you come in. But
Don't know why that would happen, but
bar fight with 6 people.
I
Don't
think
a
of
bar fight with me.
I think if one of the Vitten tries to like wind up a swing, they'll knock a wall down.
Yeah.
The fact that
Perfect.
there's 3 of them in this fucking thing is already an amazing feat.
That's how you know it's the good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Regardless, I guess partially, at least alone. I will just get her attention.
All
By
right.
saying her name, as
So
I
you
said.
walk up and you kind of address her.
Yep.
With that, you see her set aside her drink, and you see the woman kind of turn towards you, and you can kind of now fully kind of get a view of her. She's a rather pale-skinned elf, with quite a rather freckled face and sharp emerald green eyes. Kind of look at you as she gives you this very I wouldn't say sinister, but it's a very no, I'd say it's more like just a pretty it's a charming smile rather. And she kind of looks at you briefly and she grins and says, "What can I do for you, dear?"
Would you be willing to speak with me outside, somewhere less cramped? I have advice and possibly a request for you.
A request?
Possibly. At the very least, I'd like some advice. But not in here.
Advice? I came all the way out to this dingy old shack looking for advice. Well, that already can't be good.
You have no idea.
Well, don't you know?
Alrighty. She kind of gestures to the barkeep and lifts her mug and kind of in a saying like, "I'm taking this outside." And you see her step out. No, she follows you out. Her beer mug still in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, just some like small distance away from the building, I think, so that I don't have to like worry too much about whispering, because I could have done some whispering in there, but like, we'll just come out here.
This brings back to the rest of the party. Well, with that, she's just like, ah, my. Got quite a lovely group we have here. I don't suppose there's a reason
Crows
why
all
you're
from Alderan.
Oh God.
I'm kidding, but it's just like, wow, what a lovely group here. It just shows Yasha crawling on Mordorin like a fucking spider.
I'm imagining like one of those fucking like Mario spiders, just like
And just
yep,
just crawling.
but also scuttling very fast.
It's got little sucker feet.
Yep.
But yeah,
So
Yeah.
she kind of once again gives that wry smile, and she's like, "So what's a lovely group of folks like you do want with lovely me?"
We're here by recommendation of Timur, actually.
Oh, you're one of Timur's friends?
As it happens, yes.
Sure.
Timur's a good man.
I mean,
Yasha nods vigorously.
friend is an appropriate enough term.
Yasha, he's my friend.
He's my friend.
He's my friend, not you.
Yeah.
He's my
It's more like,
friend.
well, it's more like Yasha's been like, well, he's a friend to me.
I mean, yeah, we can agree to that well enough. It works.
Well, it's been a while since Timur sent anyone my way. I wonder what business you guys would be into. I sure hope it's not anything too stupid, given that it's Timur.
Let me, like, unfortunately, about all we do is stupid. And mentally. But
Foolishness.
I wish I could say otherwise, but not exactly. We are in dire need of getting some of our companions off Blackrock.
She quirks her eyebrow at you while she's like, downing her drink. And it's got this like nice cooled mug just kind of covering half her face, and kind of her eyes kind of suddenly just sharply focused to you with a very curious sort of like, oh, that's an interesting one. Oh, that's a first.
I'm sure. Don't get out. People don't bring up that a lot. He implied that you would be able to assist us in some manner.
Of course he would. And of course it would be something like this. You folks
Sure.
aren't from around here, are you?
Mordorin just.
Mordorin be like, actually.
Actually, I grew up here. She'd be like, then why didn't you tell them that how stupid this idea is?
Oh, he
Oh, no.
knows.
Oh, we know.
Did not reply. We know how stupid it is. We're gonna do it.
However, it must be done.
Yeah.
We're aware.
Yeah. Her response is just, you guys ain't from around here, are you?
Even if we are, it must be done.
True.
Ugh.
We are.
I'm very aware how dumb it is, but it cannot
We
be
are
helped.
aware of what we're getting ourselves into. We're gonna do something stupid. At least we're not gonna do it uninformed.
Alright. Who's the perp? I'm guessing you're trying to bust someone out.
2 people.
Yeah, that's right. 2 people.
This ain't some scumbag. This ain't some scumbag crime lord I'm helping you guys dig out of there, am I?
Actually, no.
No.
Well, if it's all the same with you, I would like to know at least who I'm pulling out of that prison if I'm risking my crew
You're
and
fine.
ship for this.
What is the best way to phrase?
Don't
Yeah.
let Mordorin phrase it, because I know exactly what he'd say.
The other
Don't let
person was God. It's been a while. Who was the other person?
The dwarven, the master smith, basically. I don't even think we got his name.
You didn't.
Okay, yeah. I know how.
A master smith and a best friend.
An inventor and a friend who, upon realizing he was going to go to jail, decided to make it worth his while.
I see. Well, I suppose if you're going down, it may as well be glorious.
All the same, we'd like them back out.
Alright. That's it? Nothing else? No one else?
There
I hope
better
not.
fucking not be.
Hmm.
We
We're
just
only
go in there and then we find, I don't know, we find Gilbud in there just like,
Hey yo!
Just like, look, I'm just as confused as you are, guys.
Ha! I was drinking. Now I'm here. Well, might as go well with it.
Might as well just roll with it. I'm just waiting to see for something interesting to happen here.
God,
Congratulations, something interesting happened.
something interesting is about to happen.
It's almost a Gilbud thing. Almost.
Just almost.
It would be a Jin thing, though. He would throw himself in prison if only he would know that something interesting would happen. Or, knowing that you guys would go there, he would probably wind up there just to be like, yeah, I'll just set myself up here, so I haven't run with these nerds.
Would. He would.
he would.
You walk through a cell. The cell door opens. He comes out. Hey guys, what's going on? It's like, what the fuck? Heard you guys are gonna raid this place, so I decided to show up.
Means worst day ever. Like,
Yep.
are you kidding
You don't
me?
think you don't think this prison break's gonna go without a little duel now, will it?
Fucking duel, man.
Come on, give me a one-on-one. I want that sword.
He's a sharp tick. That's all he is. Can't get rid of him. Comes back. Sharp cockroach.
He is
Stay
like,
down, dude.
he is,
He is
li-
unending.
he is the world's most vicious bean burrito. He returns with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Without fail, no less.
Somebody's a good dude, I guess. But
Nevertheless, Eris pretty much says, "All right, sure."
Well, at least we
Like that?
Yeah.
that easy?
Of course, that's on the assumption you can afford me.
of course.
Fair enough.
After all, I'm gonna
What
need. There's going to be a service fee for chartering my crew and ship. Not to mention, there is, of course, collateral in the case that I happen to sustain any
Injury or lost
Hazard.
crew.
any sort of hazards regarding this. And not to mention, there is a confidentiality commission,
Seems fair.
which is kind of the layman's terms of, you pay me enough and I won't tell the cops.
Okay. Yep. We would like. We'd like that.
Oh boy, how much is it gonna be?
2,500.
Not too bad, actually.
I mean, that is.
It's
That is a
pretty
lot of
fucking
money.
cheap.
But
Yeah, for you guys, that's cheap.
Yeah.
Much as I hate to say it.
yeah.
Sounds good though.
I think I'm carrying the bag of holding right now, so I'll just pay this money. Wrap it up.
She won't accept the whole thing now. She's just like, it's
Oh, yeah,
and it'll be
but,
like,
but,
we'll,
like,
we'll.
we can pay it.
It's like, okay, well, you guys can clearly pay it, so it already makes me more suspicious of you. But I'm like, okay.
We've
Y'all are
come
already
prepared
sus.
to do stupid, okay?
But
If
it's,
anything, we're fitting the bill more and more of how stupid this
Apparently,
is.
we're not good at being anything but sus.
Yeah.
So
you guys are definitely not making yourselves any less sus. It's just like, okay, it was like, well, we're not really gonna, we're kind of scraping by for this, but we're we're broke, but we're desperate enough for this, so we're willing to get the money and just give it over. Nah, here's your 2,500. Can we get on your ship?
Yeah.
We can
We're
do it
like-
right now.
we would like to go as soon as possible, please. Take us to this prison.
Davey,
Like, hmm.
dimensional portal that has all my money in it.
It was like, this is more terrifying. This is more strange. It's just like you're asking this pirate to, or effectively this pirate to illegally bring you onto this restricted fortress prison that you're not supposed to be on, and you just
and have the funds to just, here you go.
yeah, not just
Right.
have the funds, but be all like, it's 2,500, whatever. It's a drop in the bucket.
It's not a
Ain't
drop
no
in the bucket
thing.
for me, because I'm gonna need the money.
That's why
For
I'm
other-
paying. That's why I'm paying. Yeah, scrub.
Yep.
I'm not
Being a
gonna spend this
wizard is
money.
expensive.
We can always redistribute wealth later if we need to.
The redistribution of wealth.
I got.
Not only are they evil, they're communists.
If
Oh, no.
if I really get pressed for money, maybe. But right now, I am okay with what I am planning on doing in the future.
She does eye you guys, and she's just like, okay, so you clowns are working for Timur, and you have the money, and you don't seem rather bothered by the fact that you're going to this place that you know damn well of, I'm sure.
We've been through a lot.
We have.
That's putting it lightly.
Yeah. It's just another day for us.
I swear, where does Timur find these people?
To be fair, we kind of found
From a
him,
dance contest.
but it's not
Literally a dance-off.
there.
The story just gets weirder.
A dance-off.
Not
The
wrong.
fucking story of Session yesterday of just how it keeps getting weirder and weirder.
Okay, I gotta hear this.
Hear
She's
what?
just like,
The dance off.
The dance off. She's just like, since we're entering this business deal, how about we have ourselves some drinks? And she basically gestures you guys back in and walks in and pretty much just like, I'm gonna need the shack. And the barkeep kind of looks over to the three Vinton and kind of just sort of gives them like a little like, "Tsk, get out of here," kind of
Get out.
thing. And the
Can you
Vinton
imagine if
immediately
an
like,
elephant woman?
hmm?
Imagine this elephant woman just being like, not elephant. Oh my god, it's
Elephant.
elven woman. Thank you. Elephant is FF. Look,
Okay.
I've
Elven
done
woman.
Final Fantasy like on Wednesday, but yeah, this elven woman telling like these 9 foot tall people being like, get the fuck out. Well, technically
Hmm.
having the bartender tell them to get the fuck out.
She did.
She commands respect in these pots.
She's just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna need the shack, and the barkeep basically is just like, "Tsk, get out of here, and the three Vinton leave. That's it. They get out. They're like, okay.
Warden is not touching the stuff.
These are of course like, these aren't like some pushover Vinton either. These are like fucking burly brawly sailors. Like, these are like, one of them was straight up Khan's Navy on their tattoo and everything. Like, oh, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Get out, and they're like, okay.
Yep, get out. Okay.
Yeah.
They had no qualms about that. They're like, okay, we're getting out. Lady says she needs her space.
She quite the lady.
Yeah.
So it seems.
Yep. She does order around for you guys, and pretty much toasts to you to your business partnership, so to speak.
Warden just slides his drink over to Yasha.
Drinks.
She
I
does
drink.
say, it's just like, it's rude to not drink in a contract.
You really don't want to see what happens when I drink. Trust me.
Slides Mortar in a cup of
Considering
water.
the first impressions, I do.
That's you know what? Sure, I guess it checks out.
Morden will still refuse to drink. He doesn't give a shit if he threw it.
Fair. Like, bro, I don't care. Let me we'll have some. Sure.
Yep.
She's
With
not
that-
gonna be chugging, but she'll accept.
Well, she toasts and downs with you guys. Or, you know,
Whee!
just little cheers like here's
Ooh.
to business.
Here's the business, and not dying.
Rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub.
So from there on, she's like, okay, well, I know we've got this contract settled and squared, but how the fuck do you guys know Timur? And more importantly, how did you, like, well, I'm gonna need some more details on this because, you know,
Or just
I'm
wait
sure-
until we get
I'm
to
sure
the...
Timur is slow on the upkeep, but that old oaf isn't exactly, in his best ages.
Not even the craziest part of this entire story either, which is the funniest part. The
Right.
craziest part is fucking that. No, just I'm just saying, like, the dance off is funny and, you know, weird, but like what happened
Mhm.
immediately after is pretty much is really what takes the cake of just like when
That's
Yasha
where the madness really began.
and Aaron got back from their highway robbery stint and just like, what?
Oh God, are you
You
talking
guys
about that?
crashed.
So
There is a
don't talk
mecha
about that.
hydra.
He only wants to know how he came.
know.
So I'll be like, Yasha, just tell the nice lady how you met Timur, and only that.
Oh, now you gotta tell me everything.
Everything.
Only that,
Really
Yasha.
don't. There's a
We're
lot.
gonna a lot, yeah. Just you know
got
how we met
plenty of
Timur.
time. Trust me, this ship ain't gonna sail. This ship ain't gonna sail immediately. We have to prepare, after all.
As
It's
do
not
we.
like I don't think. To be fair, I don't think she'd care about.
Yeah.
What happened.
For the sake of time, Yasha, in his Yasha way, explains the story of how he won a dance off. Some dude disappeared, and he became fast friends with Timur, and also blowing up a convoy.
When he gets to
Wow.
that point, just be like, Yasha, why?
Well, Eris is definitely entertained and laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy. So I bet you're part of the reason why the Tetsuguard's got a whole stick up its ass then.
Yep. And that's why there's also that's why there's a metal hydra somewhere.
Yasha.
Oh, she already heard that. That's fine.
Nothing entirely. Nothing that hasn't been said in the news, honestly.
A Hydra. Oh,
A
interesting.
hydra.
No
Well.
robot.
That's quite the feat. You guys did quite a hell of a job then.
Yeah, sadly, the other guy is not here right now.
Yeah.
It happens.
Says he had to go blow up some civilians or something.
He did
No,
what?
I really hope he did not.
He better not. I would give him an earful if he did.
I don't know. I'm sure he's fine. He's just doing Kyron things. Literally the reason to be worried.
What's Kyron up to? Kyron things.
Oh no.
Don't worry.
Oh, no.
He'll be fine.
The
Kyron
people
will
around
be
him?
fine.
The people around him?
Yep.
That's questionable. I hope they'll be alright.
Kyron
That
will
dude
be
is
alright.
Yeah, Kyron will be alright though.
And that's
That's good.
really what matters. At least for Kyron.
I suppose so.
But that's
Oh,
okay.
boy.
In any case,
we'll find
she does seem to get a kick out of your guys' story. He's like, so Timur didn't really put you up to that, huh?
No.
Huh. Some other dude? Or someone else then?
I apologize. Put us up to what exactly?
You mentioned the blowing up the convoy thing, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's just.
Or so Timur really put you up to that? That's probably what I should have been specific.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what he wanted him to do.
It's what he
Damn.
wanted. What he got.
Yep.
That is. That's something that he would have. he would never have dreamed even doing back in the day. Ugh. Well, one man I know that would do that sort of stupid shit, and he's dead and gone, thank God.
Maybe he gave us that test because he didn't think we would do it.
No. Even if he thought you would, he wouldn't go asking for that stuff. Reminds us too much of old pain in our old ass.
Huh.
Which would be, or who would be, I suppose.
I don't suppose you're familiar with I don't suppose you're familiar. Are you? How familiar are you with some of the gangs and territories around here?
Baseline. Not much more than that, honestly.
I suppose you're at least familiar with some of the Khan's navy around here. I mean, you can't go 10 steps without bumping into one of their sailors.
We've interacted before, yes.
And, well, obviously, if you know Timur, then you know the Yakuza.
Not all of them. Really, mostly just Timur.
Well, you know of the Yakuza.
Yes, we know of them.
Well, funny story, but I used to work with some of these gangs. Not, as one of them, mind you, but was a supplier of sorts. Someone that was even better than the Khan's navy at getting things in and out of Brosnov.
Oh.
So, I know a few stories of some folks from back in the day who, well, let's just say weren't really level-headed, but made up for it in their level of destructibility.
Ah.
I don't mind hearing some stories. We shared some. You share some.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Though, I don't want to bore you with much of that stuff, as, well, a lot of that stuff's kind of boring compared to the crap you guys been pulling. I've got more fun stories out at sea anyways.
Can't be that boring.
Nah. I'll tell you about some of my sea stories. Nah. You don't want to hear my Brosnov stories. They're pretty unexciting.
Brosnov Blues.
Brosnov blues.
Something to look into. Something else to look into. I say something to look into, but not like that's like. I already have a lot to look into.
Oh, do tell. Do tell.
I mean, I don't want to be sad about hearing about some seaborne adventures, though.
Well, I can definitely tell you the seaborne stuff. If you want her to go talking about her Brosnov interactions around Timur and all that jazz, it's gonna be a skill check.
That
Nice
that
little
will
diplomacy.
happen. Lamine wants to kind of like ease into it with like other stories, right? Like we start with the story she wants to tell, and we can kind of maybe ease her up into talking about the boring stuff.
All right. Roll me a diplomacy.
Persuasion.
Or yeah, roll me a persuasion.
Look up my channel divinity.
Go, channel divinity. I choose you.
What we got?
Making sure that my number is correct. A 29.
Jesus. Okay.
Divinity is coming in clutch.
She kind of mostly mentions that she
It's
used.
a good guarantee. Pretty much.
Well, she kind of mentions that she used to be part of well, actually, she grew up she was one of the kids from one of the pirate crews that used to be part of the old mega navy that the pirates had. She's an elf, so you know she's got a century.
We got years.
She's got
She's
age.
got years.
She's got years.
Yeah. Wonder who's older.
But yeah. So she's actually like, she's not she wasn't there for the battle, but her folks she's basically like, actually like, used to her folks were pirates from back in the heyday, and she was part of they were called the Grand Corsair Fleet, and she talks about how she's basically got her family's fightiness and cunningness and ingenuity, and she basically like talks about how she's like a badass.
She's
more or
selling
less.
herself.
She's selling herself more or less, and she's like, yeah, I got my first, like, after, you know, my folks, they were actually pirates that fought in the Grand Navy. They say that they they basically barely got away, and after that, you know, kind of more or less settled down in the Corsair crossings. She herself came to basically commandeer a ship in her like early 20s.
Nice.
Yeah, she basically kind of more or less stole a ship and crew.
Ooh, that's a good start to a career.
Yep. She murked the captain. She was more or less kind of she kind of played more or less as a bit of a arm candy for the captain, but also was just like, by the way, I'm also highly trained and I know what I'm doing. I'm just making myself comfortable right now and waiting for the best time to take your job.
Of course, not saying that to him directly.
Yeah. It just kind of more or less, she kind of dresses up that whole thing. That she's like, yeah, I pretty much just like, you know, killed the captain and commanded my own ship, and you know, the misfortune has been my ship ever since.
Oh. Oh. Ooh.
And
Wow.
she's been like in charge. She's been in charge of that ship for like close to like a century.
Elf things.
Elf things.
Elf things.
Yep. Warden's still older than her, which is like, huh. Shit, she's done so much more than I have in my life. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what happens when you stay home reading books.
Yeah,
Nerd.
he is a nerd.
I bet it.
More than like,
At least he doesn't write fan fiction, right?
He does not. He
Right? No.
he draws it instead.
Oh no!
Oh.
I'm kidding, but he does
It-
draw, obviously.
I was gonna say he draws fan fiction. It's like that. It's like that scene.
He's an artist on webtoons.
Oh God.
I was gonna say I'm picturing a young Mordoran chilling in the library and drawing all those like early 2000s DeviantArt tier arts on his little
Oh.
notepad.
Lord. In heaven.
Did I
He
did I
has
did I
a-
awaken
he has
some cursed
everybody's
memories?
Sonic OC.
Yeah.
I remember. I am reminded of the many art houses we go to in VR chat that have DeviantArt in the hallways. Because we don't need to go too
Oh.
far back for that one.
Oh God, I remember that one house that had like all the fucking like. It was just like, yo, this is basically someone's DeviantArt page just strewn about the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was just like,
It's like,
this
oh.
is like 2003 kind of stuff. Like, what?
It was.
It was cursed.
It was weird because it was like being in a timepiece, but it was made recently.
Yeah, because it's VR
that
chat.
is That is amazing and also cursed.
It is. You don't really realize how cursed that stuff is until you're into like, you're actually there because you're using a VR headset. So it's like you are actually in a museum of deviant art, and it's like, wow, this
It's
is every
weird.
bit as cursed as I thought it would be if it was in real life.
Man, I'm just like, remember the old days? I wish I didn't.
I would rather not.
Anyways, bashing on artists from back in the day aside, yeah, that's kind of the story she sort of sets herself off. She was a badass captain, who, while didn't really have she had a rather underhanded beginning. She put that hours in, and she's pretty battle hardened, so to speak. And yeah, she kind of more or less talks about like she knows the waters better than almost that she says in confidence that she knows these waters better than any captain in this port and outside of it.
Well, makes sense why the mayor would send us over to her then.
Yep.
Good to have that confidence. You don't want to be those guys with no confidence.
No confidence.
Like me, no confidence.
Oh,
Go to set.
Yasha said.
Yasha said. Yasha Pog.
We need these emotes, man. But they'd only be like Franker Face
Yeah,
or BTTVs.
Franker Face. Bronker Face.
But in any case, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the story she puts in. More or less her origin. Yep, I'm the child from the most terrifying fleet that to have ever sailed these oceans, and I myself am no pushover. And basically inherited my dad's fightiness and mom's cunning, and put them together, and they made the most badass pirate captain child ever to sail
yeah.
these waters since. That's pretty much how she puts it.
Hell yeah.
Seems legit.
Claps. Yasha clap.
Yep.
Yeah,
Anyways, well, I know you guys are off doing your little thing and having your run-in with Timur. I'd like to hear a little more about you guys more personally. After all, I just kind of told you my life story right there.
I don't remember my life story.
Yeah, he does not.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that is correct.
Wow, that's pretty harsh.
Maybe. Doesn't seem too bad.
Well, you seem to be at least familiar with fighting, considering well, you're carrying quite the armament on you.
Oh, I just got that today. No problem.
True.
Not wrong. I just got that today. However, before that, I used to fight. I like to fight with a spear.
I see.
I guess this is also a kind of spear, I suppose, but I don't know. I just know how to use a spear really well.
Alright. What about you, Elf?
Unfortunately, very mundane and very boring. All things considering.
No drink, no story? Man. Are you sure you should be you're part of this crew? No offense, but you seem to stick out compared to the guy who doesn't even know what he's doing. But seems to be fit with tearing things apart with that that little piece on his back.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Or fortunately, I suppose.
It's okay. He's not as crazy as Uncle Kyron.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Not many people are as crazy as Kyron.
Yeah. I'll take
Kyron,
that as a compliment.
He's something else. That's for
Kyron-
sure.
Kyron's built different. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a way to put it.
God, what did he do that was just like, what are you doing?
He's got.
He, like,
Well,
cut himself or
He's
something?
good.
well, technically,
Right?
the party doesn't know, except Yasha. And Yasha hasn't mentioned it, but it's that time he went and frisked some dude, trying to get information, didn't get information, and then slipped a bomb into his pocket just cause.
Yep.
But he
That-
also
He's
there was-
somewhere
oh
out
my
there with a bomb still in his pocket. Whether
Unless he
knows
got
it or
arrested
not,
and he's in trouble.
yeah,
But-
for having a bomb
But
in his
also,
pocket.
he like cut his hand or something. I forget why he did it, but he just like
He just sliced his hand to get attention
It
or
was
something.
because it was because he didn't believe we all saw that one
yeah.
vision.
like
So
this is a
he's
real
like, I
stab
have to stab myself. Yeah.
Instead of catching yourself, the dude pulled out a knife, went to
He
town.
pulled- he did a Talladega Nights right there. Just like straight up like
Kyron
That's
has different
Yep.
methods. That's all I'm gonna put it. He's got some.
different.
He's built different.
There was no. You can't
he's-
say you can't. He didn't follow the instructions because there was no instructions.
He's just doing what
Yeah.
he's just doing what he's doing, man.
yeah. Also, if you give him, he seems like the kind of person where if you give him rules, it will be malicious compliance.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I think the only thing she'll get out of Mortarin about his past would just be like, my mom was a cleric. What did you expect? I don't think he'd be like, yeah. Also, dad was a politician. I don't think he'd say that part. So he's just like,
He's a mom.
boring as hell.
Mortarin's a mama's boy.
My life was real boring until I got involved with these chuckle fucks.
Basically, yeah.
It's only gotten exciting in the last like several months.
Yep.
Damn, rich kid's gotta
Yep.
be a thrill seeker. I see.
I was gonna say you know this guy. This guy, he's a shit. Why am I blanking? He's not. What's that? It's the meme. He's not a rich kid. He's a trust fund kid. He's a trust fund kid.
Trust fund kids are just a thrill seeker. I see.
And this motherfucker's a trust fund kid.
Like, look,
This
look, my
damn
mom's a nun.
trust
What
fund.
more do you expect?
Yeah, I see
I
how it
expect you
is.
to die, Mr. Bond.
I know the kinds of case. You're like one of those kids that don't get to do anything interesting or fun, so they have to go and find their own trouble just to have some fun.
Except I didn't even look for trouble.
Mm-hmm. That's what they say at first.
And then they become the trouble.
Yep.
Nope, I was definitely inside a lot
Mm.
and stayed inside and read a lot.
Well, you ain't inside no more, so that's already proven my point.
A lot has happened over the last almost 2 centuries.
Well, I bet you're enjoying every minute of it. Anyways, turns to Lamine. So what's your story, dear?
You're like, yep, I am boring as fuck.
Hey.
Stop asking me.
That's the person Mortarin calls mommy. No, I obviously wouldn't say that, but goddamn. Totally blab it to some random stranger. Just so it's like that then.
Ah, I knew it. I was right. The lack of thrill in your life got you getting thrills elsewhere. That's why you're here. Don't worry. Hey, I don't judge. Whatever gets
we
your
don't
rocks
judge around
off,
here.
kiddo.
We don't judge around here.
What's the best way to phrase this?
God, I hope he's not actually saying that. I
No,
don't
of
know
course
if Porter
not.
would even understand.
No, because honestly, Yasha doesn't have any reason to say something like that right now. He technically has never heard Mortarin call Lamine that, so.
Mortar has not called Lamine that at
Yeah.
all.
At all.
Yet.
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 Sensitive yet.
Visions of yet.
Visions of yet.
Visions of rump.
Oh. Yeah. Whatever. I'll
Try rump butthole.
Butthole.
my tongue butthole. Thank you, Dark Souls.
Behold, rump.
Alright, I'll just phrase it straight out, I suppose. I'm an ex-noble. Obviously that filtered you somewhat.
Well, well, it's as they say, Brosnov is the home to turncoat nobles, so where a better place for for a noble to go than a place where their lineage can get them rich.
Or the Popoto step dance.
No disrespect at all, either. I mean, that's part of why I came to Brosnov, was to make money.
Isn't that what everyone does these days? Gotta make money.
Gotta make money.
This is true. Money is kind of necessary to a lot of things.
Think about where we would be if we didn't have money. We couldn't be able to hire you.
And that would be tragic.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll not say anything beyond that.
Am I chaotic to try to?
Are you?
What are you talking about?
Mortimer, like, probably noticing Louise not offering up much. He just goes, "You've told more stories about yourself than just that."
Slowly turns to you. No.
Like,
Eris is now looking at you expectantly, like, alright,
Alright, spill the beans.
spill it.
Yeah.
Spill it, dear.
Oh man. I'll talk about some of my own experiences on the water then. I'm completely I'm avoiding that entire subject of the lineage thing. Because the only other, I mean, yeah, her stories are. Yeah, it's like her own stories on the water.
You gotta tell them about how we're Lamine's boyfriends.
I don't think she needs to know that. Oh god, what is it called? I mean, have I actually even has Lamine what has Lamine told Mordrin actually? Has she actually told them much?
She's told, but it was mostly like, I remember there's a one time when she was sharing like stories from like very, very, very in the beginning, but nothing like super concrete. She's mentioned the stuff about her sea life actually no, was it sea life?
She
It was
hasn't
very
been on
like mundane stuff that like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, actually, she doesn't have a whole lot that would probably be super interesting. It's like probably the most interesting thing that she's seen is the big fortress up north.
Wow, so you've seen.
I think it was the northern.
She's been around that, which is not the coolest, because otherwise, just like she's seen battles on boats, but like.
Seen some pirate fights, huh?
I've seen quite a few, yes.
I bet you'd seen some of the old corsairs. Those
Ships off the coast of Orion.
Pretty bold of them to get that close within a bastion stronghold, though.
Well, fishing villages are easy targets, I assume.
That they are, but they're not worth much for the terms of risk and reward. Though I suppose the supplies you catch inland can be.
Oh. I mean, so lucky Mordrin is not gonna be like, hey, there's this stranger in here. I'm going to use this to my advantage. More so than he already is.
I was gonna say, this is when Mordrin becomes gremlin mode.
Oh, I see.
No.
I see why he'd do that. I think. Okay, I see you.
Oh.
Just be glad Mortar's not mentioning your tattoos to her.
Her tattoos are on display.
They are on display.
Tell us more about these.
I mean, not the poppies, but her sleeve is.
Yeah.
And with that new outfit.
But Mortarin could be like, basically, I was thinking about being devious and just being like, oh, that must have been the time where you managed to get the tattoo on your back, or
Ooh.
even the tattoo on your sleeve.
He's gonna be like, do you want to get crushed?
But Mortarin would
The
not.
answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Between them thighs.
No, he would not. He does want to ask her about it, but not in front of a stranger.
Do you
Take 'em to
mention
the-
do you mention the
Mortarin
tattoos
has
though?
enough. No, he does not.
I mean, she can see the tattoos.
Well,
Yeah.
one of them.
The
Sleeve.
sleeve tattoos.
Yeah.
Take him to the Lamine guillotine.
The Lamine guillotine. Oh my god.
The guillotine.
Get the
Lamine
fuck
guillotine.
The lamine.
Get out!
out. Eris, get out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think there'd be a whole lot that would probably interest Eris. A lot of boring stuff.
Hmm.
As
well.
far as like her life.
That's
And
quite a letdown of a lot, considering the three of you are collectively planning on breaking into one of the world's most secure places.
All the interesting things
What?
happened very early on in my life, and I'm not interested in recounting those.
Ah, I see. Well, hopefully the things you learn from those moments are gonna come and help you in this.
I don't know about this moment, but I did learn a lot.
Alright. Well, nevertheless, Eris is a little bit let down, though you do kind of see her sort of like, she doesn't even ask, she just kind of looks over and kind of walks over to get a good look at your tattoos, and is just like, well, that's at least an interesting thing. Is that also part of that old past of yours?
Somewhat, yes. I got this when I was very young. Very young, relatively. Me, anyway. Probably significantly more to you.
Well, with my crew, tattoos are a big thing. At least for many of the members.
Yeah, usually tattoos have some sort of meaning to them.
Indeed.
Gives you that gets side eye. That gets side eye. That side eyes.
So that's why you bring them around, and it's like, nah, don't worry, I don't judge.
No judge. No judge.
Mortar, unfortunately, has no idea what she's talking about.
Lamine thinks it's funny.
Mortar is just clueless.
Well, he's boring, but he's kind of cute. Don't worry about it, though. He's yours.
Huh?
Oh, it's Yasha just nods and goes, "It's all true."
What's all true? Just looks at Yasha. What are you talking about?
He's a bit slow on the uptake sometimes.
Ah, that just makes it more fun.
Also true.
Agree. It is quite entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's some secret language that I'm not understanding right now.
Oh, don't worry, dear. We're just talking about the tattoo.
Totally.
Uh-huh.
Everyone is subject to that murder suspicion.
Yasha simply continues to nod his head.
Please roll bad. Please roll bad. He's like, okay.
Oh, okay.
So the
He
meaning of the
doesn't understand.
tattoo, huh?
Yep, tattoo.
What about the tattoo? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a nice tattoo.
It's a nice tattoo, and usually there's meaning behind tattoos, right, Lemmy?
yes. I'm not sure what you want out of me. I know you know flower language.
Ah.
I should note, I just like these are my favorite flowers. That's why I have them.
Mortar
They do
have
have meaning, but the meaning is irrelevant to why I got them. In this instance, I just think they're pretty and toxic, but that's just a bonus as far as I'm concerned. Which did you actually look up what the meaning of hellebores are?
I have, though I've come across two widely different meanings.
Yeah, I'm
so.
sure. Yeah, I bet
So.
that tends to happen.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with either or.
I need to refresh myself because I only remember the one. Whatever. There's
I
like
think they're super polarizing. Like one meant basically balance, and the other one was like not chaos. Ugh, I don't remember.
there's
been a
been a
while.
bit. I would need to refresh, but
Forces of chaos.
Forces of chaos.
Chaos.
chaos. Let me think about what I could tell her to make her happy. I mean, without getting into like extreme details, it's like I feel like the fighting the dinosaurs was pretty peak of like, oh my god, what is happening?
Mm.
I'll tell her a little bit about our encounters way down south and fighting lizards and giant lizards. Actually, just I'm not gonna
Yeah,
like get into
that was cool.
detail of like the like basically war that was going on.
Why that was the
but-
thing.
Yeah, like the particulars of why we were down there, but I'll tell her about the like the battle that happened. This
Yeah.
big old battle at those ruins with the lizard men and the lizard people and the dinosaurs. I will leave out Gilbud and his mech suit.
Yeah.
That's fine.
She might
Gilbud and
hopefully
his
she'll
mech
get,
suit.
get a kick out of a battle at the very least. Like all that that went on, because that was a lot.
Mhm.
That's also the most like friendly too. Or yeah, I'm gonna go with that. What else? I mean, I'm just thinking about like other interesting things.
Yeah.
Like that's the main thing.
Oh, I know Mortar has interesting things, but also he doesn't want to draw. He wants to remain as boring as fucking possible. So.
I mean, Lamine doesn't want to talk about everything that happened underneath. Yeah. So she'll recount the battle. Like
We can't.
Alright.
phrasing it as like she might not have a whole lot of stuff that happened in her way past, but much more recent past. We have. That's where all the fun stuff has happened. Just
Yep.
kind of go into the battle with the lizard people that we got involved in. Probably phrasing it as actually fairly accurately as basically just being mercenaries. Because
Yep.
that is technically what we're posing as anyway. Or a mercenary group, so.
Yep. A
As
very
much-
rich mercenary group, but don't mind us.
Hmm.
I mean,
A suspiciously rich mercenary group.
Mercenary makes a lot of money, right?
Not this kind of money.
Let me their treasurer.
when we're friends with Tamara, maybe.
Hmm. I suppose doing all that dirty work for Timur does get you paid quite a bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, what with blowing up a convoy? Blowing up a convoy.
And sticking it to murky water. It's corn-fed crooks.
Those corn-fed crooks.
Sounds quite something. Yeah, that'll probably be. That will be it for me.
Alrighty. I suppose that's that then. Alright. Well, at least I got to know you a little more. And you at least know me a bit.
Yeah.
Well, if there's anything you'd like to know regarding my ship or crew, I can definitely tell you more.
Click here to find out more.
Clicks.
What would be?
Or if there's any other information since you kind of shared the story.
What would be useful? My brain is struggling. Um,
What would be useful?
actually, the bit of information that I would like to know is, if this sort of thing happens, I was gonna say a lot, but I think that's gonna be relative. But
What?
how often does she get asked to do something like this?
Doing stupid crap? That's all what people come to me for. However, this is a pretty special case. That's not to say that you're the only folks that come to me asking for that what do you call it? For a way into the islands. It's that they're well, suffice it to say, they are typically not sound of mind in doing so, nor are they sound of wallet.
I see.
By the way, this is just a chapter in Fire Emblem, basically. Where you go ask a bunch of pirates, hey, can we go to this forbidden isle that nobody's ever come back from?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
I expect us to be ambushed by 2 ships full of mages. Thank you.
What about ambush vipers?
Ambush vipers.
Gotta watch out for those.
And also some random girl with no memory just washed up some on a ship randomly. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't think Lamine has much to say to that, to be honest, because it's like, yeah. she already kind of pointed out that, like, all right, y'all are fucking. What the fuck is up with you guys? Yeah, we're not.
You guys are wild.
Oh, if only she knew what was on in Mordoran's mind. God.
The many minds of Mordrin.
Yeah?
Many.
The mini.
To put it safely, people only really come to her for some pretty fucking, like, not necessarily the most dangerous stuff, but some pretty illicit things.
A real sketchy stuff. All right.
Yeah. Mostly because she's got a reputation of being able to pull them off. If you want something like if you want something moved, she can move it. If you need to get someplace and you need to get there quick, she can do it. But in terms of a request like getting to Blackrock Isle, they're few in between, and most folks can never quite afford that high price.
We can.
Yep.
You can, and you also aren't gonna get cold feet from the looks of it. Some folks will put a down payment only to suddenly catch their senses and call it quits.
That would be bordering, but unfortunately he can't. Not in this case.
No, we're pretty committed. We
Yeah.
are committed. For better or worse.
Well, if it's all the same, I'll be taking my 500 now before we leave. Well, not now, but once we're done here.
Yeah, I'll just remove the 500.
Alright.
Like,
She'll pocket the 500 gold. That's the down payment. That's the even if you walk away from this, she's keeping it.
Yeah.
The
That's
only
fine.
thing you're getting out of this is that she doesn't call the guard on you for asking for this. Because as it stands, she could turn around and be like, "Hey, there's some conspirators here trying to break in."
Yeah, some real fuckers over here.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Some extreme fuckers, if you will.
So just asking her costs money.
sure. That's fair. Why not? Works for us.
Such as the cost of business.
It's every time I actually think about all the random stuff we've gotten up to, it really is just a whole lot of shit. Just in Brosnov alone, it's just like,
Right?
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brosnov's kind of been here for a very long part of the campaign. It's practically now become the main focus of this campaign. I think it's like since session 20, we're coming close to session 40.
The Brosnov arc, okay. It's just
This
that's
is
what it is.
Brosnov arc.
There's a long ass arc.
There's other places besides Brozhnev?
Yeah, he started in another place.
No, that was just a
Technically, our
tutorial
base
area,
of
right?
operations is somewhere else.
Here's the tutorial. That's the next level over there.
Yeah, that's fine. We need to do, or at least a little bit of planning, though. I can't say that my brain will be up much for planning at the moment.
Yeah.
Seeing
And
what
of
time it is.
course. And of course, I have to do preparations on my side. And we'll discuss more on what we're gonna do and,
Yeah.
of course, handle things. These docks are, well, reliably quiet, but even the most quietest parts of this city has ears, so, you know.
Precautions are understandable and expected. Yeah.
Indeed. Well, we'll plan another meet again then. My ship isn't here. It's moored out not far from the docks for personal reasons. However, I and my crew do come around these parts of the docks, and I am here most days. So, if there's anyone that if you need me, I'm either here or someone will tell you where I am.
Alright.
Sounds good.
Yep. So unless we got any other business, then I suppose we should be on our separate ways.
Business.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
You have something to say to the class?
After she leaves,
Or we
basically,
leave, whichever one.
either way, as soon as she's like not around, Libby's just gonna hear inside of her head, from nobody in particular. Just say, I am still curious about the back tattoo. From no one particular. At least it's in her mind.
Yeah. I need to look at something.
Oh god! Mordrin, did you fuck? I mean, you always fuck up, so.
Order messed up?
No, I'm trying to. Oh my god. forgot about that. I am. Okay. I think he would have seen how many flowers.
Probably.
Like, I was just checking to make sure, like, what the spacing of it was. So he would have seen that there were 4 flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, one, it's definitely like she knows who's it's coming from. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bitch.
At least he said it as quietly as possible because he didn't even speak it.
Yeah, I don't know why whispering in her head is not necessary.
Mostly because he doesn't even know if she would want Yasha to know. So that's the only thing.
Labs to everyone about it.
Yeah, there's also that.
Okay. She really only sighs, to be honest, and says nothing. But as a player, I will say that if there's some quiet time later,
Yeah.
she might bring it up.
Hooray!
She might bring something up.
Oh no! Or oh yes, depending.
Oh
I'm
no!
gonna he's gonna get something.
Something's gonna be up.
Wow. Wow. I mean, yeah, fair, but wow.
You walked into that one. But anyways. Yeah.
I'm not sure how. I mean,
I think we should probably just go home and that's when we will, discuss. Unless there's something else we need to talk about. Or find out.
I mean, anything else we can probably do at our apartment. So,
Yeah.
This is definitely where I'm gonna say that, like, anything else save for like the future, because time, IRL time.
Yeah.
If you want, we can put a pin on this, and if you have any other thoughts you want to share with Eris before you part ways, we can put a conclude to this, like a to be continued.
To be continued.
Because I myself, I'm also kind of starting to feel it.
Yeah.
It sounds like y'all need some energy drinks.
I'm okay as it is now. If I think of something, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
I just need to make a note that or to make sure that I do tell Mordorin something about those flowers.
Yeah. Because here's what I'm gonna do. I know we kind of concluded we're like kind of done with talking with Eris, but instead of being all like, okay, we're done talking with Eris, I'm gonna rewind it back to your exchange with her, so that in case you guys do happen to have any new questions, you can kind of post. Yeah, when brains are functioning, and hopefully when we have Kyron back, I'm sure Kyron will also want to do, his own questions and contributions as well, or not. Maybe he just wants to leave a very Kyron impression.
Yeah.
He's gonna leave a Kyron impression,
which may or may not assist or deter you guys in exchanging of information and knowledge.
You know, it's best for him not to be. Nah.
Because,
maybe
she is.
Maybe it's best if he doesn't talk at all.
You don't know that. I mean, the girl likes some good stories, and
man, is
maybe that might get her into the mood for discussing some more stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure if anyone would whip out some crazy ass thing that they've done, it would be Kyron.
Yeah.
in any case, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna leave off that. I'm gonna try and remember this because I know it's gonna be a struggle for pretty much all of us. But
Remembering to remember this.
It's gonna be 2 weeks.
it's
I
gonna
will
be at least 2
try.
weeks, yeah.
I will
So,
try because I realized I'm in 5 campaigns now. So
what are you doing in 5 frickin' campaigns, bro?
look, I
Cra-
have
cra-
no skills.
I was gonna say, craving more campaigns.
And
Ugh,
I thankfully only run 2 of them.
only 2 of them.
I have made a note that we're rewinding back to Eris.
Yeah, we're gonna dial it back just a little bit to Eris, so that if you have any other questions or would like to continue dialogue with her, because I feel like you guys, we could do a bit more. I mean, I feel like there's more that you guys kind of wanted or needed.
I'm sure there's something that we could think of. But
And also
Yeah.
because Kyron is out, and I feel like Kyron could also play a good contribution as well.
Yeah, that's true.
it's
Yeah.
always good to have more of the party.
Yeah, the only thing is I know I probably want to do shopping, especially since yeah.
We'll have a little bit of time to do something
Yeah.
before we go back to her.
So
Yeah.
Because
we'll,
we'll pull more to the side at some point.
man.
Mm.
We will cap it off here then for now. But yeah, hopefully that's all right with all y'all, because like I said, I'm starting to feel a bit tired myself.
That's fine.
It seems like we're all kind of a little bit drained. At least maybe, or maybe it could just be it's because I'm just feeling tired right now, and I'm just like I think everyone else is a bit tired.
No,
should we-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the 4th campaign I've had this week.
Yeah. We'll pick this back up then, when we're less exhausted.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
hopefully,
it is also getting kind of late, so
yeah.
I say
Yeah.
4 a.m. is arguably quite late.
Yeah. So to kind of summarily conclude, more chat with Eris and more information you guys got on the fucking amalgamation that is the island fortress.
Yes. I
Black
do
Rock.
know that we need to get a try and head in there with at least a semblance of a plan as well.
Yeah. But it seems like you guys do have a way in, which is
Yay.
with Eris.
And hopefully she'll be the way out,
Hooray.
assuming everything goes at least somewhat to plan.
Damn.
Because at this point, Mordorin has accepted that things won't go according to plan. He has no hope for that.
Damn,
something
maybe
will
should
go
have paid her for
inevitably
the
wrong.
round trip. She paid her to bring your ass there and not take
You
it
didn't pay
back.
for. Dang.
Now, funny story, we can pay for that too.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? That is something to discuss. Being like, hey, so in the crazy idea that we managed to actually do what we said we're gonna do, we're gonna bring these 2 people on the ship. We're gonna go back with you, right?
You're gonna be there to pick us up, right? Well, you did pay me to charter the ship there, not back, so it's gonna be another 2,500.
Well, look for her.
Boy,
Slaps on money.
it's just like you guys scare me, but also I love money.
You scare me, but I'll take it.
Anyways, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go ahead and raid Blue.
Yeah.
Below.
And yeah, thank you guys for checking in and watching the stream. And if you're watching the VOD afterwards, thank you so much for popping in and checking out the VOD. Hopefully we can pick this back up more and check out some more cool stuff for this, for the campaign. Anyways, have a good night, y'all. See ya.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah. I have
Moderate.